Ladies and gentlemen, rival play-ins have begun. It's finally time. No more best of fours, best of fives only. And I'm honoured to start off this beautiful stage of RSC with none other than Casual Boy.
Thank you for having me. In fact, for an amazing introduction. But yes, we're into the rivals play-ins, as you said, where it converts from that best of four to best of five, and it's where you're playing your heart out to get into those next stages of the tournament, which, you know, there's a bittersweet taste if you've gotten further and further and further each time, which is always nice to have, especially if you've gotten this far already. You can say, I took myself that one step further.
Absolutely. And we find ourselves in the lower bracket today, which means whoever loses, they're out. Their season ends. Your RSC12 either continues or ends today. The pressure doesn't get much higher.
It doesn't get any higher than this. You know, I've been in many, many losers brackets for every game I've played in across my time in esports, especially in Rocket League. I've competed in small tournaments where it's been when you hit that losers bracket and it's like, it gets in your head. So especially this late on as well, where it is the end of your run in the bracket, it's like, if I lose this, I'm gone. But if I'm in, I'm going further and beyond. So I think this is going to be one where the teams are going to be want to push themselves to the edge, and I think it's going to be seeing those 3-2 sort of coming in. There's going to be no dominance whatsoever because both teams are going to be on the edge of their seats, wanting to get that result by the end of this.
I absolutely hope so. Yoruba, in a very interesting circumstance, they finished 7th in their season in a very dramatic 3-man head-to-head. They actually did lose that, but due to a team not being able to make it, they steal the spot for today. And Norns, obviously in 6th place, they managed to scrape themselves in, but not as dramatic of a circumstance as our Yoruba side.
Yeah, Yoruba just getting, with luck on their side. So maybe luck will be on their side to put them through of this lower bracket. But as you said about Norns, also scraping in. So they've got a bit of Lady Luck riding with them. But that's going to be a case of will Lady Luck with them all the way and take them again further and above and beyond. So both teams, haven't run their luck out completely so far, and hoping to have that last little taste of it, and maybe have a bit of a refresh going into the next stages and have more luck by the side. Especially when you finish so low in that last season. Now you're in the low of the lows in the play-ins section.
Here we see some of the player stats. We've got Petroid with 58 games and 41 goals. Obviously, their captain, but not quite played as much as Ollie, their top CMB player, equal with KED. However, I've got an announcement for the stream. KED will not be playing. I believe his internet is down, so they will be replacing him with a challenger. Will be quite an interesting dynamic, I'm sure.
It's going to be an interesting dynamic, especially when you're in this stage as well. Like, you've got to have that chemistry that you developed throughout the entire tournament and really have your engines revving and being like, you know what, we're a well-oiled machine is where we're working. We've got this far. Maybe luck's been on our side. Maybe it's been the teamwork. Maybe it's been our camaraderie has given us that freedom to go as far as we have. But having a substitute in can really, really change that. And, as much as I'm not throw too much shade on the teams, this isn't the place where you want to have that sub. This is the place where you want to make sure you have all your players at hand and all your best players at hand saying that. So it's going to be nice to see how well they gel together, whether that substitute can be, that their miracle worker and they say, you know what, we're going to take you on maybe in future seasons, or it's going to be that thorn in their side, and that's going to be the reason why they fall behind maybe only by 1 or 2 goals each match, which unfortunately would mean their demise. So let's hope that isn't the case for them this time round.
The pressure is really on, and a man who's used to pressure is Gecko as their newest player, but I've seen him pop up in the weekly accolades even when he was a free agent, so maybe he can be that impact new player. Only 16 games, I believe, about 20 or 18 goals it said, something along that range, so he'll be one to watch. But, Casual Boy, you know what time it is. The match is about to start. What are your predictions?
I'm going to go with a nice 3-2 win to Naruba because, they're doing good. And like I said, I want to see a 3-2. I don't want to cast too much shade on the teams, but either way, I hope it's a 3-2, but I think Naruba, they're going to take it.
Wow, so having some faith in the challenger, which is pretty interesting. However, I don't have that same faith. I'm going to go for Norns 3-0. Before I knew about the challenger sub, I was originally going to pick 3-1, but, I have to change my mind, sadly. They were a team that weren't supposed to be in their play-ins. The pressure is really on them, and I just don't think it's going to be enough, sadly.
I don't think it's going to be enough either. Well, you don't want to say too much too soon, and you want to put all those eggs in one basket. But we can't call too much before everything has kicked off. Like we said, it's that moment where all the players are gonna have their hearts racing, their adrenaline rushing, and they're fighting for the end. So we can say we don't think someone's gonna make it far. We don't think say someone who's gonna make it very far. It's gonna be one of those fine-tuned moments, and it's just gonna come down to whoever's got their heart on it going towards the end, and where their hearts are gonna lay is probably gonna be with their eyes on the ball, eyes on the goal, and then just saying, you know what, we've done our best if we didn't get very far, but we're gonna go and go and go until that last whistle blows.
Okay, someone in chat has just said even, doesn't Norns also have a Chally sub Kieran be playing? Okay, I was not told this before the stream. I would have changed my prediction back to 3-1, but I guess we're going to have Chally versus Chally also in this lineup. I did not know that. Here we go. That adds a bit more excitement, doesn't it?
It does have excitement, like both teams having that substitute. So both have that little bit of a detriment when they haven't got the full chemistry going with them, but they still have that case of at least they have a two-man team that has that chemistry, and they both have that knowledge knowing, okay, the opposing team is going to fall behind in terms of chemistry, so what can we do to manipulate those? And both being challenge players, can probably then say, okay, we can then just kind of know each other very well, and hopefully they can work against each other, and they can be a pivotal piece on either side. If not, maybe the two players who have got that chemistry can just target down the Chally player and say, you know what, we'll get rid of them and just have the other two do the work. That could be a bit offsetting, especially if we're already going to be on that edge with being one man down in your normal roster.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the most unique circumstances I think RSC has really seen in a play-in match. I think we're in for a good ride, a good way to start the play-ins even, and a brilliant way to start the stream. We're in for an absolute ride.
It's gonna be an absolute right. It's gonna be a fun one. I've had many fun matches I've watched throughout my entire time casting Rocket League, but never has it been a case where both teams have had a substitute on it. Maybe even in that last minute. So that's gonna be a case of that's gonna ruffle their feathers. That's gonna push them around. So maybe that's going to bring excitement to it. Maybe that is going to be the reason we see that 3-2. Maybe it's going to be, maybe there's going to be a case from like, oh, this player is going to be a detriment, so we're going to start going down. But then in going into like the games 4 and 5, they're going to realize we've been a bit of a thorn, we've been a bit of a detriment, a bit of a sticky situation. I'm going to be that hero in the end of it. Unfortunately, because they're a substitute, you can't keep them for the rest of the tournament, but they still could be that 0 to hero going through in those very last stages in the match, and they could be that reason, like I said, that you get that 3-2, or you just completely sweep the entire match.
Absolutely. I think the players are waiting for their go, go, go. However, my game chat is not working at the moment. So if someone else can do it when they are ready, we can get this match sorted. Yeah, I don't know if being the challenger player, you've got more or less pressure on you. It's a really interesting situation because at the same time, you weren't expected to be here. You're not really expected to perform. But then you are taking the position of a player in a 4-man roster who has worked so hard within the last few months to get to this point, and if you lose, it's all over. You feel like you've ruined it for the whole side. But then again, you weren't even expected to be here in the first place, so it's a truly interesting dynamic. This is where heroes are made, or, you just scoff and move on, really.
Yeah, they're in that situation where they're not really good. I guess it depends how they feel as a person. Like, some players might feel, you know what, I wasn't part of the team. If I lose, then I lost it. They're the ones who maybe could have played a bit better around me, and then they could have won it if they really wanted that win. But then you're going to have the other people who are there who are going to feel horrible that they were that saving grace coming in even in the last minute or the last day or whenever they were needed to then actually play in this stage of the tournament, and they'll feel like, I let the team down, maybe they're gonna have a bit of a grudge with me. So it'll be on a person-to-person basis. It'll come down to how they feel about it. We'll talk about how we feel about things that we are going into this match, see how they feel about it going into it. Kickoff goes off and goes quite well, goes in the favor of Yoruba, who get it quite on close, but they actually no, that wasn't Yoruba, that was going quite against them, so lost it quite quickly as it is forced straight towards their goal and quickly saved there in a great little stoppage.
Now, Ollie, he's a big defensive presence. I had a look at the stats before the game, and I believe he's actually in the top 10 for saves. I think same might go for Gecko, but I'm not going to 100% confirm that. But Ollie, for sure, I know if you've got a shot on net and he's the man behind, that is not the one you want.
Ollie is just going to be a fantastic piece in this match then right here. We do see Patroid bringing it on forward, does get quite far and is stopped. We have the suckiest sucker, so hopefully you aren't the suckiest sucker in this match and you're actually the best player. You know, it's quite an ironic name, you know, you call yourself the suckiest sucker, but you're also in the play-in stage of a tournament, so you're doing something right at this stage. As you see, it's pulled straight on back and it is changing into a defensive play, so Yoruba are going very far forward and they were kind of pushed back within those first seconds of the match. Still 0-0, still a bit of middling, but it is going quite well. Sucky Stucker is pulling it on forward, brings it on over the top of everyone, but the Gecko gets a nice hold of it. As you see Ollie go for a shot there, but not quite made it as Peak Deke goes for a sticky situation, stops it going on through, and saves it from going further. Actually plays it into Yoruba, who then get it right on back to the other side of the field.
I want to point out that save was by Kieran, our Chally player, who's got himself a chance in front of the net, plays it into the centre, but Gecko isn't able to clean it up, but the defender has got there first. Big Deep coming off the ceiling, unable to get the 50. Ollie, the man we said we feared so much, faces the challenger, who actually gets a great ball in the middle. Gecko is off the backboard. Is anyone there to clean? Sucky Sucker gets a miss, is saved by Ollie. And so far, this game has just been end-to-end. Can't really tell who has the advantage here.
It has been really end-to-end. It's in a case where like it could be either team's game. I'm feeling that it's going like a little bit further in Yoruba's favour because they are the ones who are having more of these offensive plays and are only really able to slip past once they fail to convert those defensive plays. We do see a great shot there going on through. Doesn't quite get past it though, as Ollie is straight onto it on the other side of the field. Gets stopped in the path by Peak Deke, who then plays it on far, goes down the sides, is playing it around everyone. Past one, not past two though. As you see, Gecko does get a chance to kick it up. Ollie then plays it out, and as we've been saying here, Ollie, even in these first few minutes of this match, has been amazing in making sure the ball hasn't gone in that net. So it's probably going to be one of the star players for this rivals playing match. Peak Deke plays on through, gets rid of the Gecko, plays it back to Peak Deke, doesn't get it quite through though, but Gecko has a taste for it again and is saved on the line there by Patroid.
These midfield passes by Norns just keep on coming, no matter what. It seems they're always trying to find that infield pass. It's really something Yoruba are going to have to put a lot of attention on. These second mans are just positioned so high. They're always ready for this. You can tell this is part of their strategy and one of the reasons that they are here.
Yeah, they're playing an amazing strategy, and amazing strategy is one of the things that can keep you in for this stage of the tournament as they play it right on back through Ollie, who gets it as far as the far corner, but doesn't quite make it through. Patroid has to play it safe and come back to try and stop it going any further than they wanted to be going, and does get a quite comfortable channel to play it through with Sucky Sucker by their side to try and catch up if they fail. Sucky Sucker does get an eye on the ball, and there we have Kieran being the save there, so kind of stopping an offensive play and a passive play. We do see Ollie and Patroid wanting it back again, don't get quite far as it goes through all the way, and Gecko has an open run of the play. Kieran gets it as well. Gecko doesn't quite make it, and it's just going back to Sucky Sucker, who can play it right on forward, and it's going to open goals, but no one is really converting an open goal there. So I think we're going to be in a long run with many overtimes in these few matches, because both these teams are both dedicated to being defensive to stop it going far, but also dedicated to being offensive to make sure they can get as close to goal as possible.
I can say they're both definitely very disciplined rosters. You see, they have this pressure, and sometimes you just want to force a goal. You want to keep all three men forward, but they know the time to turn around. They know the time the attack is over, and that's a demo in quite a dangerous position. Can they keep the attack? Norns deep, plays it into the corner, has time for a second touch, but it's in the safest part of the pitch for Yoruba, who end up keeping possession. End up sliding out for Gecko. Unable to do anything with it. Sucky Sucker with a little bit of space, trying to use it, but doesn't get the best touch at the end of the day. Finds himself in the middle. Kieran, off the backboard, plays a great back pass, and Gecko unable to get the touch he wanted. Was that a shot attempt, do you reckon?
That could have been a shot attempt, or it could have just been maybe just trying to lob it as far away from goal as possible. In these last dwindling seconds, every little bit of matter is possible to be a changing grace in this game. But it doesn't seem that it's going to be going the furthest, as it is played straight on down, but it is kept on the off the floor. But then Ollie, an amazing save that would have been a great goal to score. As he plays, aren't letting overtime come into play. Kieran goes back up again. Patroid does bring it down though, so try to play an aerial blade, maybe just shoot it across the pitch, try and get it in, but unfortunately it doesn't go their way because it is just a really annoying kickoff because no one really gets a good control of it. But Patroid plays it on through, is stopped there by Peak Geek, so this could be another long section of the game even in overtime because both teams are just really showing what they want to do with the ball. Saki Saka has a nice little tap towards it, quite close to the mouth of the goal, doesn't get a good bit of control on it. Ollie then collects it as it goes through past Gecko, and Ollie then gets a hold of it again, takes a shot, goes to that top corner, doesn't quite make it through. And again, a case of those saves coming out from Kieran, who being a very good player for the Chally coming into this match.
There are two words that come to mind: deadlocked and quality. This is an amazing defensive display from both teams. Some of the pressure applied has been serious. It's just the defense has been ready for it every single time. As we see another bounce to the backboard, there's some space for Ollie to have a shot, and once again it's a save by Kieran, who gets a beautiful soft first touch. If he had just hit that away, there was going to be another shot coming straight towards their net, but instead he managed to soften it into a 50. Gecko tries to get the flip, tries to sneak it near post, but isn't quite enough. Saki Saka with not the best clear, and that bang off the backboard is going to be dangerous. Kieran's there, and it doesn't have the power. And once again, I spoke about the discipline before for how they come back and rotate. But another reason I want to point it out is how good they are at getting these soft first touches, getting themselves ready for the second, not just giving the ball away. It's really fun to watch.
It's really fun to watch, and they're both really dedicated to giving us what we want to be watching. Kieran plays it on through, is quite close to the goal, and is in a very dangerous position for both himself and the team around him, because he could either score from that situation or he could have been completely demoed and fluffed it up. Seems to be that it went in the way he didn't want it to go, but he does come straight on back to want to try and get a bit further. Doesn't get it as far as what they wants to. You see Pete Deep then plays it right on through to a combination of Kieran and Gecko, who neither of them get a hold of it. They come straight to Patroid, who can see himself in a very open position. They're demoed as they take the shot there, and it doesn't get very far. We're back to this 0-0 situation. We're 2 minutes into this overtime, and we're still in that really good deadlock that both teams both hate and love to be in.
This feels like a really closed chess match. Both teams playing just so positional this entire game, constantly changing their strategy as it goes along. I just feel like whoever loses this game is going to be in a very difficult position mentally, because they both worked so hard. To have it all go to waste, it can have a very negative effect.
This will be a downer on either player who really fails to get through it, especially because it's going to be a case of we got so far, like you said, and especially when it's game one as well. Getting your head down game one, especially after such a strong game one, can be annoying when you have to go for another 3 or 4 of these just to crown a champion in this match. But it does go through again. Ollie stops it from going any further past that goal line. We've nearly got a whole match worth of overtime going through, and both these teams are still going. They're soldiering on until the very last minute. I think it's going to go maybe in favor of, I won't say someone, but again, it's in that case of every time I say it's going to go in favor of someone, it just gets rocketed across the field. It is going slightly better for Norns here, but again, playing straight back towards their own goal, goes back again through Peak Deek, back again through Patroid, who does slip up that last second there, so a little bit of possession to play going back in favor of Norns. But then we see Saki Saka has an open run on goal, goes for an rated shot from the end there, and goes into the crossbar from a 1v1 there.
That is an incredible save, and that demo will once again shut down the attack. I wonder if the nerves are piling for the team. Will this overtime end to a mistake, or will the team just have a play that's just better than the other one that is unstoppable? Because it feels like no matter shot they throw in, someone is always ready. I'm getting nervous that this game is going to end very anticlimactically.
I think
that's what I say about Pete. He comes off the backboard. It's Kieran there. No, not quite. He's the last man. He has to be very careful. He gets to 50. That is exactly what he had to do in the position. That's quality.
That was some quality play. And as you said, you want it to be a climactic game, and I feel like it's one of those ones where it could be both climactic and super anticlimactic at the same time. It could be an absolute, Bobby Dazzler of a goal from the other side of the field. Just, you know what, I'm going to crack it and open goal, go for a score.
Oh.
And you do see Kieran does get it in, and unfortunately we don't get our wishes granted, and it is just a tap in from the edge of the box, but that is still a goal nonetheless. 4.5 minutes as overtime went into that, and Kieran, who came in as their Charlie sub, is the one to take this first game. So maybe that same thing we said earlier, where you even have your Charlie sub going to be the person who completely ruins it for your run in this match, or you're going to have them be the one who completely saves your run. And so far, we see Kieran is being that saving grace, and is going to be happy to say, you know what, I came into this match and I saved you from what was nearly going to be a 10-minute game there, and we're going to go into this game 2 1-0 for the Norns.
Kieran has 928 points, including 6 saves. That is ridiculous. That is, like we were talking about before, just amazing self-control. Being in these high-pressure situations, you know that if you lose this series, you are out. Getting that big start is so important. You're in a 3-4 minute overtime, and he's still popping off saves. That's one of the scariest positions to be in, is that goal line. When you're in the opposing side, sure, you could miss a few shots. That won't cost you your game. But when you're in net, that's what win or loses not only games, but series.
That is exactly right. It is a case of they're going to be really sweating it on that back line. They have a game to their name, so they can say, okay, we can maybe try and re-envision our strategies going into the next couple of rounds. They can maybe re-envision what they want to do. They've learnt the book that the Yoruba are throwing to them. They can say, okay, we've read your book, we've read your pages, back to front, left to right. Let's play around that. Let's show what we can do. Yoruba, on the other hand, can play that same sort of game, but they're going to have their head in their hands because they've just gone and thrown away an amazing deadlock. We'll see how they can convert this as kickoff does go ahead and happen. Kieran is straight into the opposing side. Norns are happy to be with those offensive plays. We do see Patroid wants to be radical and gets on through and just completely destroys what a really good defensive play. Kind of being a bit pressuring on that defense to the point where you became an offense. But then, what can you do when you want to stop a team that's 1-0 up against you from getting that early goal? It goes through to Gecko, who's quite open. We do see Patchroyd does go ahead and save that. Pete collects it, but can't really convert it. And it goes back to this stalemate we've seen over and over again. A stalemate in favor of Norns, but not really in a big enough favor as Sucky. Sucker does have a semi-open goal to go with, but then is stopped at that halfway point. So we're seeing now that both these teams have woken up a bit. They know what they want to do, and this game is getting the action straight away, whereas we're in a couple minutes for it to come in that previous game.
Do they have to change anything, Yoruba? Obviously, they lost the last game, but it's so hard to see where the problem lies. If there was one thing I could say as, your resident Charlie player, it's that maybe neither side really feels like they're demoing enough. They need to open up that back line, which has proved to be the issue for both teams, just not breaking past that last line of defense. They each had about 10, I think it was 9 and 10 goals each between them. So maybe it's just getting rid of that defender. All those shots and only 1 goal, it's dramatic to say the very least. It
is very dramatic. It's an epic tale that came to a very anticlimactic end. It was a case of going back and forth, and then suddenly someone just broke through the fatigue and went for it. It was a goal that really, I believe, caught Yoruba off guard because it was a case of it's not going in the past couple of times. Will it go in again? And well, it went in that time. But that was in the past, and they have had time to adapt to that. Those few seconds between games is just enough to have a pep talk from your IGL to tell you, let's change up how we are going with things. We do see though Gecko rolls it on across. Ollie plays it away from that goal, gets it as far as it can go, but Kieran, the star player from the last game, does pick it up again. It goes through to Pete Deek, who plays it through to Gecko, who is stopped by Patroid, who is then stopped themselves by Gecko, but then cuts on through like butter to get to the other side of the field, and Ollie comes to pick it up and gets that first goal there. So going through a defensive masterclass to that first goal could be the powerhouse that strikes this team to the Game 2 victory.
Absolutely. Now, Norns, they was focusing so much on those infield passes, but the 2 goals so far have gone straight from the corners, and we find Yoruba ahead for the first time this series with only the 2nd goal of it.
Yeah, the second goal of the series, but it's still a critical goal in the series. Once you can get that extra goal, but then Kieran comes on back and is another saving grace again as that Charlie player. So just as we said they had that dominance, they then go ahead and lose it to the 1-1 tie. So it's now a 3-game overall series, so a very, very slow one, but that can be expected from these teams who are probably going to play a bit slower to make sure they don't make any silly mistakes. 1-1 apiece in this second game. It is still a lot of time on the clock, so either team could take advantage of this and go for that 2-1 lead. If not, we could be seeing a second overtime with both how these players have a lot of stamina. We could see another like 10-minute game going on, which is an amazing thing to see. Of course, we do see it goes across. Gecko and Kieran had to stop that a whisker, and then it's pulled straight back to Patroid, who loses possession, but luckily Sucker can collect that again, but in a position where they're going backwards on themselves, which you hate to be doing, especially if a player on the opposing team can take advantage of that.
Yeah, this is two teams that are clearly fighting for their lives. They know that this loss takes them out of the tournament. The months of hard work is all over, and you can see that here. So defensive, and I think that is part of it. That being said, I feel like both teams maybe stepped on the accelerator a bit more, starting from that overtime, and Kieran here he is again. The challenger brings up, and it's a brilliant, brilliant goal.
It's a brilliant goal, and again, just displaying that, you know, the challenger can be either the one thing that ruins your run or the one thing that saves your run, and currently he's being the thing that is saving the run for this team. We see Pickdeep goes for another shot there, just wants to make sure that they have a taste of this cake that puts him through to the next few stages of the tournament. Gecko goes for a shot as well, hits the backboard and brings it straight down to Patroid, who has an amazing run down the side of the pitch but no one to go to. We do see Saka pick it up though. It goes back to Ollie, who has a chance at it, but doesn't look like in a good position. Patroid saves it. So Patroid and Ollie have really swapped places this match. Patroid going from defensive player to the defensive player, and it's coming back along the field. Goes on through, back to Kieran, who is a saving grace for this match. Goes for another shot, quite close from an aerial. Doesn't quite get it, and the backboard is another saving grace there. Still 2 for 1 with 45 seconds left to go. Looks like it's going in favor of Norns this time again, but it isn't over until someone calls the whistle.
Casual boy, I would like to tell you something. My apologies. We maybe should have checked Discord. Because Stingray is not in the lobby. The chat has not been watching the game for the last 4 minutes 30 seconds. So we are going to have to go pure play-by-play right now, because currently they are on the home cam with just our two faces.
Okay, right. So they're gonna have the side of my face, so I'm looking at the screen over here. So yeah, so complete play-by-play. They scored another. We saw. I don't know who scored, but someone scored another goal in that section while we were distracted. But Esports at its finest there. Patroid gets that third goal, 3-2. So going ahead and making the lead in their favor. So again, we said it could be another game for Norns, but then we just see it change completely. And yeah, we're here. It's a case.
Casual, can you just wave at a webcam? We're on fail of the week. See you on RSC cast, boys.
Top 10 esports fails.
For your information, Yoruba are winning 3-2. It's 10 seconds left. It was a really exciting game, but hello fails of the week. It's an honor to be here. I'm so sorry, Stingray. Yes, Yoruba are in fact winning 3-2. It's on 0 seconds. Patroid had 600 points. I don't have Stingray on Epic, so I couldn't add him.
Oh no.
Anyway, let's cast like that didn't happen. Yoruba, it's 1-1 now. They've broken the deadlock. The confidence, they're back. They're back. Maybe things have switched for the better. Let me tell the team the situation. We need to change lobby.
Oops, not quick. Oh, love these things happening in RSC. Of course, you know, these little things are going to happen. Of course, luckily we were here to bring you as much of that gameplay as possible, even though we missed a little bit of it ourselves because we had to turn around. But a 3-2 win there to Yoruba, bringing it to 1 apiece. Unfortunately, you didn't see it because that was actually an action-packed game in the nicest way possible compared to what we saw in the game previous. So let's see if they can convert it going into the next few games. If they if they can ride on that high, you know, we're riding on hoping we can see our screen on both sides, but let's hope that that is a shining light for Yoruba and they can make their way through against Norns and their powerhouse of a Chally in Kieran.
Absolutely. I am going to try and join the new server. Hopefully that is correct. Maybe that's what Yoruba needed. They needed to get the pressure away from the stream. They just lost a game. They come back and they actually win one. Maybe that's what it was all about. You know, maybe that's what gave them the luck. And in a way, by not checking our Discord messages like naughty casters, we gave them that win today.
Yeah, we gave them the win. You know, it was like a reverse caster's curse. Instead of us putting a curse on the team, you know, we had the curse put on us. It's the universe coming back to the casters. Every caster in that second there was actually thrown under the bus and was put in a situation where they were actually, you know, they got cursed, they got one who were denied something. But at least you guys weren't denied us, and you know, you saw us talking about something that you couldn't even see.
Of course, Mama Pegasus did my hair for this reason only.
Yeah, got the hair all tied up this time around. Got it looking pretty good. You know, for some good gameplay as well. You know, you gotta dress yourself in for the play-ins as we see kickoff is coming in, and fingers crossed everything is going fine. Stingray,
yes, we're back. Like nothing happened. Here we go. 1-1 is the series score.
1-1, and it's a series that is going to be neck to neck for every second of it. A lovely little chip there from Kieran, doesn't make it all the way through. Comes back on the Gecko, who's a nice supported player on the edge there. Pete comes in for a taste of the action, doesn't quite get a hold of it. As it comes over to the Sucker, who goes for a chip himself, but doesn't get all the way down there as it is played down. Gecko collects it and has a free run up the pitch with Kieran beside them, and saved there by Patroid with Ollie not too far away to be a bit of a backup. Ollie gets a hold of it, rockets it over the top, goes back towards that own goal though, and Pete Deek is in a combat with Patroid there. Not the end of the world as it is going back to them, but then it comes back and Kieran scores from what I think might have actually been an own goal.
Not like this. Kieran gets the ground bouncer. Those are the kind of touches you don't see very often, so they can be a little bit awkward. But in this tier, in Rival, especially in this position where it matters most, you've got to be scoring that. Kieran, however, our challenger player, once again going on to the scoreline. We must have all the respect for him. People in the chat, you better be DMing him after this game, but Sucker, incredible aerial, finds itself in the top middle. Kieran, who we're giving so much props to, hits that ball a bit too heavy, isn't able to catch up to it, and Sucker punishes.
Sucker showing they're not the suckiest sucker after all, and being the one to bring it through. That's a tongue twister for you if you ever want one as we come on through. Ollie gets a hold of it, but Pete kind of just jams himself into the side of the pitch there. It maybe that was tactical, maybe that was like an accident. We see it goes through. Kieran getting a second goal. This time we don't need Ollie to mess up for that one to go in. An amazing angle to score that from. One of those ones where if you're on the defending team, you think that's going across the goal, that's not going in. But that perfect angle of both the car and the ball. 2-1 because of Kieran's amazing goal again. Can we get some checks on this Chally? Because I think they are on something right now, getting all these amazing goals in to save a team who really need to win this.
The week in clip, the week in one series. What a double touch. And once again, it was that dangerous infield pass that Norns played, and Kieran was ready to clean it up. You really don't expect a shot like that. I'm not surprised that the defense didn't have a chance. Sucker tried to show him up with a corner read there. I'm not sure if we saw that. Kieran, here he is again. Can he get another double tab? He does get the second touch of the backboard. This time not on target. This time not as impressive, but they find themselves ahead and they seem to be feeling themselves.
They seem to be feeling something more, but I think both teams are really feeling that situation. Of course, you've got Yoruba who got that goal for the comeback and really were comfortable with how they got it. But then you have Norns who are just saying, you know what, we got a goal, we got the second one, we were ahead in games technically now as it goes currently. Patroid plays it on forward, gets it quite far up, but Pete Deek is there to just scream it across the field. A little bit of a demo there in the middle of the pitch as it comes on through, and we nearly see Patroid get their own goal, but the crossbar, everyone's favourite little goalkeeper, stops it from going through, goes on further back, goes on again, hits the sideboard and goes down again. It goes onto the post, it doesn't get it. Sucker saves it, but Kieran, you beauty, comes in for a third goal. meaning they're now on 3 in this game alone, and about 5 or 6 across the entire series. Kieran, take a bow. You're doing amazingly so far.
The goal felt inevitable. Everyone had their chance, but Kieran said, listen, you rivals, calm down. I got you. I'll fulfill my hat trick once again, just topping the leaderboard for this rival team. Maybe, you know, the player who isn't here today was a shared top CMB player. I don't think they're really missing him right now, sadly.
I don't think they're missing him. I think they're going to be taking Kieran on for future iterations of the RSC if they're allowed to. Patroid plays it down, brings it to a nice comfortable position. You're only 3-1 down. There's still goals in it, but Gecko goes for a shot, hits the backboard. We see Pete come back in to go for it. Kieran has another taste, doesn't get as far as going through. We do see Ollie brings it down, comes on through to Gecko, who then controls it. Has the power to kind of say that we're happy. Patroid comes on in, goes for a shot from an aerial. Just misses the opportunity. Another shot comes in from Ollie, who goes to Sucker, who doesn't quite get it. Ollie goes for another one, hits the crossbar. Ollie goes for another, doesn't get it off of that rebound. Kieran has a free path to go through. Patroid brings it back, brings it on down, and we're now seeing Pegasus that both these teams are firing up. There's a minute and a half to score these goals, but will it be enough time for Yoruba to say they got those 2 extra goals to bring it to a deadlock in game 3?
I think there could be a potential 2 goals max left in this match. The problem is Yoruba need both those goals to go to them. And just as I say that, Caster's Curse, Gecko has finally got that goal that he so desired. He's worked so hard. Kieran with the fake for the assist there. He is doing it all. Samo VB said it in chat, and I can't help but agree. He's my MVP in the series. Isn't even over yet.
He's my MVP as well. I think he's going for it. I think he's really putting every gun out, and we're now noticing. I think he's one of those Challies who are going to say, you know what? If I'm going to be a Chally, I'm going to be an important Chally, and is saving the run of Norns. Hopefully, could be the thing that puts them through to the next stage of this tournament. We see Patroid is also trying to pull their weight, support that team. There's only 40 seconds left to go to score 3 goals. You get a goal every 10 seconds, you can go ahead and do it, but I don't think that is very, very possible. Kieran gets a hold of it alongside the Pete, who then plays it on through. Pete then gets another one. Kieran goes for another shot. Gecko has an open goal to go for, goes across the side. 30 seconds remaining, and players are just playing for the sake of playing for a goal now. They want to have their name on those leaderboards, get that fame and that glory. Peak Deke plays it in the air, brings it on down, but it's saved. And really, his last 15 seconds, I don't think any goals are going to come from this. It's just going to be playing for commiserations right now. And it looks like those commiserations aren't going to be going to anyone, because it's still a dramatic 4-1 win.
And I can't help but say this was deserved. This is the least close and the least equal game we have watched so far, including the ones that no one in chat watched. However, I can assure you this was our most dominant game. And Kieran, once again, 6 shots, 3 goals, 50% conversion rate. He also had an assist and a save. Like we said, he is just doing everything. Super Chally. You say heroes are made in play-ins, one has been made, as Norns looking to get one more win to make the next round. It's getting exciting.
Norns, yeah, they're really wanting to take it. They're really, really gunning for it. Yoruba, all in the server now, all ready to go into that game, just waiting on the next Norns player. So Yoruba, you know, they're really, really putting themselves through. They're probably having the quickest of IGL team talks in the background right now. They know that they've just been devastated in that 3rd game. They had an amazing game 2. You know, maybe they're a little bit camera shy. Maybe when they're off the camera, they're going to do amazingly. Maybe we have it cut off for a little bit more. Just put it on us again. You know, give Yoruba a bit of a chance. Get their blood flowing. Get them back into the flow of things. But they can do it. Just Norns are really showing how much they want this, and Norns are just dominating there. I want to see another close one. This has been a fantastic series so far. After a close game 1, a close game 2, a bit of a one-sided game 3, and maybe game 4 is going to be close again. If not one-sided for Drupa, maybe they're sharing. Maybe behind the scenes are like, hey, let's give the casters a little bit to watch. Let's share the wins and losses as we come into this third game. Will it be shared, or will it be all points going to Norns? As Norns actually have a good control of the game. Ollie stops that control, but Gecko swiftly picks it up again, going into these early stages of the tournament as Patchwork takes a long shot and doesn't quite make it.
Yeah, I don't want to cast this curse, but I really do not feel like this series is over. I think Europa are going to put up a really good fight. All Patroid, Sucker, and Ollie have had such shines of brilliance. It just hasn't been enough to get the second win, but I think it's possible. Just as I say that, Kieran once again with another chance, and that's a miss! That's a very important miss by Peak Deek. Kieran once again trying to keep the attack alive, but it should be 1-0 up here realistically. Casual, what is going on?
I don't know what's going on. Maybe Kieran's running out of juice, running out of that bit of petrol that is really needed to go and be the best they can. Or they feel they've done their job. Maybe there's a bit of a talk behind their team background, like, hey Kieran, you're taking the scene a little bit long. Let's give us some room on this stage. Yeah, but Kieran saying that does just go and take it quite ahead onto the other side of the field and has no players around him. Goes for a shot. Ollie, the goalkeeper they are, is the one to stop it. But there's a demo there with Sucky Sucker. Patchroid plays it on through. He's picked up by Gecko, takes a long shot, hits a post, and Pete D gets a goal in there. And I believe that's their first, if not one of very few they've had in this run of play. So it's going to be very nice knowing that they put them up 1-0, and Kieran, probably a little bit proud. The rest of their team finally getting those goals in.
I think it was all in that bump, gave him the space to hit the ball in an awkward position for all three players, and once that ball had bounced off the backboard, all the cameras happened to be in that perfect spot where it was just awful for all the Europa players, and someone could sneak in plain sight and get the goal in. 1-0, thoroughly deserved, well worked. Gecko again, he's got a one-on-one chance, and that's a brilliant flick, just about enough fingertips from, was it Ollie here? That halfway line, perfect power, just enough to get it in.
Just enough, and in a situation you love to have all that power and control in. A one-on-one, it's going to go either way. It's going to go in or it's going to go to the defender, and you played it amazing against the defender. Atroid goes for a shot from very long out, is stopped by the defensive line on the goal. We see Sucky Sucker go for an aerial play, doesn't quite get it, goes straight back to Pete Deek and Kieran. Kieran running up the pitch, obviously, as he does. Gecko gets a hold of it, plays it back to Kieran. Ollie stops it from going any further. He plays it above Pete Deek, who plays it towards their own goal. Hits the side, but still dangerous to be going that direction. Comes on back through the pitch. An amazing bit of aerial control there, actually. Just really, if you can't be touched because you're in the sky, you can't have the ball taken off of you. So it's a good technical play. Brings it back down to Patroid and Co. on the other side, who takes a shot, and Ollie gets that one goal that is going to be the one that pushes him a step closer to another win.
Yeah, he sees Gecko a bit too forward on the goal line, unfortunately, there. He places it beautifully behind him. Once again, 2 goals from this match, from completely putting your opponent in an awkward position, making it almost impossible for them to save it without real, just knowing what's going to happen, where it's going to go. It's a perfect play, once again.
It's a completely perfect play, and just it's happening over and over again. It is anticipating, really. It's everything has me on edge, and well, I guess I can't get further edge of my seat. I wasn't the microphone off, but everything has me on that feeling of being on edge of my seat, because every second there is that case of you feel like one team's going to have it, and then all of a sudden, oh look, someone scored again. Kieran scored another screamer. Ollie has gone and made another amazing save. Patrick has made another long shot. Everyone is doing something in this match. Sucky Sucker tries to be a bit defensive, gets it about as far as Kieran, who then doesn't, who can pull it back. Patroid goes for an aerial play, spins it in, but a good little clearance there as Gecko comes in and gets a shot from miles away, but it's still a goal to have. 1 minute 50 in, and we have gone 3-1 to the Norns.
Another goal, which sadly comes from a positioning mistake. Those first 2 games so positional, whereas this one, it feels like it's the reason all the goals have been going in. We saw a double commit. I've had a really well-placed shot from Gecko, finding that left-hand side, knowing Ollie was on the right and would have to use all of his boost to even have an attempt at getting to it, but it just wasn't enough. Great shot. We mustn't forget, Norns are on Series point. And as it stands, they make it to round 2 and Yoruba go home.
Yeah, Yoruba currently having to pull their weight a little bit harder here. It's not the end of the world for them. It's still a situation where they can play very, very well. But as we can see on our screens right now, the now Norns are just completely running rings around them. We see it again. Kieran pulling it right on up. Gets it across the goal with a blazing through ball there for either the players to pick up on. Peak tries to get it, doesn't quite get it. Sucker takes a long shot, but it isn't angled too well. We see it come down for Patroid getting it in. So Patroid making it a bit closer. You have 58 seconds to score another goal. And then again, another few seconds after that to score 2. It could go in a very, very good favor to either of these teams. Now, I want to say Norns can take it all the way after the dominance they've shown for all these games, but I want to give Yoruba that benefit of the doubt. We see Peak pulling it on through, plays it on to Kieran, who doesn't get it quite far, and it bounces off the crossbar to go straight in from Peak, and any glance of hope has now just left the eyes of Yoruba.
Once again, it's a great pass from Kieran, and Peak is perfectly positioned to dunk the defender there. And before Yoruba scored from such a beautiful three-man play, they were putting so much effort in. I believe it was a play of Suck and Ollie. He wasn't greedy, he just popped it up for his third man, and it's really a shame to see them go behind like that.
It is a shame to see them go behind. It could be even further right now. Ollie stops it from going any further, making any more damage to go through. Sucker plays it up as far and high as they can. Patroid comes back to try and be supportive, but it isn't going to be enough. It is just going to go straight back to Peak who plays it down the floor. Plays it back onto the players, who goes through to Kieran. Kieran runs it on forward, doesn't get it any further, and I think again it's a case of what we saw earlier, where you're just playing for commiserations, you're playing to be defensive. Peak plays it on through, but we see Sucker has a raising run on goal, takes it round 1, takes it round 2, but gets demoed. Everything's happening in one, that demo there. And then Peak plays it all the way out. It's tipping down to that last second. Ollie takes a shot, but it just skims the floor before he can get a hold of it. And Norns take that final game in this series, meaning they do go ahead through to the next round. And Yoruba, you played so well, but unfortunately, you get knocked out in the play-in stage of Rivals.
All you have to say is fair play. Gecko topping the table there with 2, I would like to say, perfectly placed shots. We had that flick that had just the right amount of arc, had the right amount of power. And then we saw that wall shot after the double commit placed perfectly in the left-hand side of the goal to oppose Ollie, who was on the right. It was just a quality difference. If I had to sum up this game in one thing, I think it was stamina. I think Yoruba started to lose it towards the end. We saw much more of those double commits come out. We saw that perfect positioning that we felt we had in those first 2 games fall apart just a little bit, and players like Kieran, like Gecko, were just able to punish.
They were able to punish everything that happened there. If there was a slip up in defense, then all these strong players like Gecko, Kieran, and the Peak were able to just slip it on through any crack that formed. And then if there was a slip up on the offense that came from the opposing team in Yoruba, they were able to pick it up there, and they were able to say, you just messed up your offensive play, we're going to keep a strong, solid wall, and then wait for you to give us a gap to go through. And then they just played either side perfectly. It was very, very close, very tit for tat. It's very much a game of, we're going to go your defense, you're going to stop us, then you're going to come at us, we'll defend you. And it just came to finding that perfect moment for both teams to slip through the crack that was formed and then go through and take that goal. Unfortunately, though, that went in favor of Norns every single time, besides that one game. But that was a very, very close game where I think it did come down to, who just had the strongest, fastest pace to go through the fatigue that was a very tit-for-tat game.
Yeah, I think that was a love it or hate it series. People like me, I love these closed games where they just feel super tactical. It just feels like who's going to break first. I could see some of the chat weren't as happy with that, especially with that first game. But I love that. I think it's exciting. I think it shows the real quality that these two teams have. They weren't not scoring because they were making mistakes. They were not scoring because the other team was just countering them so well in the defense. And I just love to watch that.
I do love to watch games like that. I love to watch games where it wasn't always just the scoring that had us hyped. It was also the defensive plays and just the flow that ran into those plays that really, really got me hyped as well. So it's nice to see that they're really considering all these different things when playing these matches, which is something that you have to always consider in these later stages of the tournaments. Norns took advantage of it most all the way there, and they really did give us a run for our money. They really did give us a show to watch, and it was just amazing to see that even players like a Chally player can come on in and still gel with the team so well and make them be an advantage for every second of every match of every set.
One thing I'd like to point out, it's a shame for my prediction because I said it, if I knew Yoruba had a Chally sub, I would have gone 3-1. I would have been bang on. But we'll see how the staff let me get away with that or not. We shall see. But overall, such an entertaining game, and we have got much more to watch. That was only the first series. I know it felt long. We're only 8 minutes till our next slot. Chat, do not go anywhere, because we will be right back. Casual Boy, do you have anything you would like to say before we sadly have to leave?
Yeah, I think I'm lost for words after that match. Now, it's been great to get to be in Newcastle. It's been great to be back here on RSC, and it's been great to crown that first team going through to the next stage of today's session.
Yes, absolutely. Chat, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back in 7 minutes, I believe. Goodbye.
conscience could burn a hole through my brain, a hole through my brain, and maybe you're the only good left in my veins. Follow me where I walk. I wanna take you to a place where we're alone so I can hear you sing. Put your mouth right on mine. I wanna prove that I'm a total waste of all your time. Have something I'm afraid to hide, and my conscience could burn a hole through my brain, a hole through my brain, and maybe you're the only good left in my veins. I can't fix you, I can't fix me, I can't. I don't need it, I don't need it. You do. I can't lose you. Take it away from me. Pull the shade and trap the light in. Illuminate the room so I can see your face. I need to hear it in person. I need to know it was worth it. Took the risk and came on over. Keeping count of everything I didn't say. Heard your breathing get lower. The room was getting smaller as you threw your arms around me way too fast. And questioned if I thought it all would last. Blocking out our future with my past. If ignorance is bliss, then why'd you ask? If it still haunts me, it still haunts me. On the pictures that you painted, hallucinations of a love that was never there. Thought you start getting nervous.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the RSC rival play-ins. You've got a new little caster deck going on now. You've got myself, Ped, a very rare sight to see, and also Big Chebs next to me in the booth. How are we doing today, Chebs?
I'm good, man. A bit of a chaos in my house. I'm moving house in a few weeks, so there's stuff everywhere. But we're looking good. We're here for the rival play-ins, and yeah. How are you? How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm ready to see some rival action. A lot of these players I do already know, so it's going to be an interesting game. I think there's some players who I played with in previous seasons, some players that beat me in previous seasons, so it's definitely an interesting game to sort of watch over. Maybe one that I might actually have a little bit of experience to make a prediction with.
That's what we like to hear. Well, without further ado, we'll have a look at the games that have been on stream so far and what we're looking to do as the day goes on, and the stats of the teams, and then we'll throw straight to predictions. If we've got some stats, have we got stats today? Oh, okay, that's fine. There's chaos in the background, as you can see. We've got at the top, we've got broken overlays, so we'll kind of push forwards. What is your prediction for this one today, Ped?
Now it's an interesting one because I haven't seen any teams in Rival play yet, and I haven't really paid much attention to the results with playing my own season. So it's not one that I've sort of got much experience on, but I can just go based off the players that I know who are on the field at the moment, and I would have to go with a 4-0 victory. 4-0 victory to Norns. Yeah, 4-0 victory to Norns, straight out. I reckon Norns are going to do it.
Yeah. Well, as it's playoffs, I think you mean a 3-0, but
3-0, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of go with the same thing. But I'm gonna go with a 3-1. I think Nightfall have got enough in them. They've got obviously Cal, who was trying out in Elite at the start of the season and looked really, really good for Rival and has been so far. So I think they'll take at least one game off, and I'm going to go with a 3-1 to Norns. But we've got everybody in the lobby. Seeing as the chaos we have with overlays today, we'll get straight into it, and I will tell the teams that we're ready to go.
Very exciting game. As all the cars jumping onto the field, we can see that Cal, Sammy Boy and R5 will be playing on the side of Nightfall, and Gecko, Peak Deek and Marina from the side of Norns. It'll be an interesting game, but 5 minutes on the clock. Here we go. Marina gets the kickoff win there. Sammy Boy taking it into the sky, looking to take the beat on Peak Deek, takes it underneath him and gets a fake on a second. Luckily, Marina is able to get back there to stop that one from going in. But nearly a very, very fast chance from Nightfall from 2 fakes from Sammy Boy, who is he not the player who is also in Challenger for Eclipse? Am I mistaken?
He might be. I'm not 100% sure. Chat will obviously tell us if we're being slightly stupid here, but most definitely with these two teams, they've got some big names. Obviously Gecko and then Cal that I mentioned before. Two really, really good high-valued players here in Rival. So I think it's a proper little match between the two big boys, and then obviously the lower players trying to battle it out to see who's best.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes the value in the CMV doesn't really matter in these games. I know there's a lot of players, at least in certain tiers, that are very, very low valued, and now they've peaked much higher. So I know Peak Deek's one of those players as well, with him being my ex-teammate. So hopefully he can do something good, but Sammy Boy there will break the ice for the first goal. A great bump there from, I believe, Cal turning into the net and taking the goalkeeper away, which happened to be Peak Deek, leaving the net open for Sammy Boy to slot that one in. And the first blood will be drawn by Nightfall.
Yeah, really nice goal. Lovely bump from Cal. And yes, chat confirming Sammy Boy is the challenger player, so really good to see him stepping up straight away and getting a goal, proving that he's not. And Cal doubling the lead, able to put it just past Marina, who just puts it into his own net as he's not expecting the quick shot. And that's 2-0 to Nightfall.
Yeah, maybe they're not warmed up properly. Maybe the nerves of the playoffs are getting to them. I'm not too sure, but so far so good on the side of Nightfall. They've definitely started the game off solid, the way you'd like to see them start the game off. I'm not too sure if this is the same sort of performance we've seen previously from Norns. But at the moment, they don't seem to be doing too great. And nearly a third there. Cal strikes onto the post. The follow-up, not too spectacular. Gecko taking it forward. Sammy Boy beating here. Marina looks to play a touchdown, but doesn't get the touch. R5, a little bit awkward there, so Cal's going to take it instead. Put it to the corner. Here comes Gecko now, trying to find that goal. Sammy Boy with the miss. But Gecko ends up clearing it into his own half, where Marina will meet the ball in the half. Peak Deek takes it into the sky now, gets the beat over Sammy Boy. Now has a little bit of time to work with this one. A shot comes on net. It hits the crossbar and it will be out. But the first chance, nonetheless, really, that we've seen from Norn. So definitely a move in the right direction.
Yeah, they did leave themselves a little bit open there from overextending, but I think they were just so confident that goal was going to go in from the crossbar, and it really worked against them in the end. But yeah, much better from Norns. I think with them playing the series before, maybe you might see a bit of fatigue, but that's what you see here in playoffs. Obviously, after an hour scrim and then already pretty much an hour game with their 3-1 just before this. Yeah, it really could be playing a part in this.
100%. Definitely an interesting one to keep your mental in check for this game. But Gecko there trying to shoot, but he puts it wide. Marina also following that one even wider to the corner, where Sammy Boy now taking the ball calmly with a dribble. Peak Deek's going to go in there very powerfully and try and find this pass into the centre. Marina's flipping in, gets that 50 with R5 there. Gecko picks up the ball, taking it to the corner again. Sammy Boy missing on the corner. Cal able to get the clearance and calm things down for now. Still no real threat coming in. Maybe now there will be though, as Marina gets a flick onto the crossbar again. Cal able to beat Gecko to the ball, and all threat seems to be neutralised. And it just seems a little bit anticlimactic at the moment on the attack here for Norns. It doesn't seem like they have much threat when they go forward. They hit the crossbar once or twice and then the play's over. There's not really that follow-up and consistency with the shooting to keep the pressure mounting, and it just seems like it's broken down in the matter of 10 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. I think they are definitely improving, seeing some more kind of pressure coming through. Here we go. As I speak about it, Cal not able to clear it off his line, and that's one goal back, bring the deficit to 1, and there's a whole new Norns.
Yeah, it's good. I think they've started to build themselves gradually in this game, and obviously now they've got the first goal, possibly a confidence issue. Now they've maybe worked out the opponent a little bit more. They've got the 2 crossbar hits as well, so if they don't win this game, they do lose the first game, I think they will be a little bit disappointed, because they definitely have had the chances to be in the lead actually in this game. They just haven't been able to keep those shots down. But a good demo coming out from R5 there, freeing up a little bit of space, but it's going to be Marina who picks up that space in the end, getting that 50 across to the side. R5 again, taking the ball. Here comes Cal now, 30 boost in the sky, looking for that flip reset. He gets it, but the flip he uses isn't spectacular. Gecko again, clearing that ball away. Sammy Boy double committing, I believe, with a teammate there. Gecko playing it into the centre. A shot coming in from Marina, and there you go. Norns are cooking now. Back to level terms. They make no mistake this time. No crossbar hit, and a great pass is converted by Marina.
Yeah, they just did that little warm-up period. They obviously didn't want the 2 goals to go in, but now they're really showing their true colours, drawing the game back up with a minute to go. Is easily enough time to win this one.
Yeah, most definitely so. Sammy Boy playing it into the centre. Marina gets a shot again, and it might be a third here, and it will, because Sammy Boy is an imposter in this situation and scored an own goal. Very unfortunate stuff indeed. I'm not too sure he expected the ball to land in the way it did, but wow, that was a three-way passing play on their own net for Nightfall there.
Very unlucky. Sammy obviously being by far the lowest in the lobby, being the challenger player. I think that will really be a big hit to his confidence. Obviously coming into a rival game, there's a lot of pressure on you, and Gecko forcing even more pressure on them, scoring that 4th goal, pushing 2 goals between them, and only a minute and a half, 2 minutes ago, it was completely the opposite direction. And I think Norns are definitely looking much stronger, and looking like they're going to take this first game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a real turnaround from the first 2 minutes of play there. Really good stuff. It's exactly what we want to see in playoffs, and I think it's that spirit. You know, they might have started off a little bit nervous, but then they realised that they were playing against, and they realised, you know what, we can win this, guys. What are we doing? And really good, really credit to them, because 15 seconds remaining here, they have flipped the game on its back, and now we're seeing Nightfall to struggle to get this ball out of their own half at the moment, and the pressure is completely flipped to Norns' side. 66 boost now, Peak D. Can he find a 5th here to end this game with a cherry on top? It doesn't seem likely, and R5 will try and pick up some momentum there, but it will fall to the floor, and Norns will be your Game 1 winners.
Yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, they were the better team in that series, and that's proved from the was that 11 shots compared to Nightfall's 5. I think they were a much stronger team. The crossbar really playing against them at some points. But yeah, I think they definitely deserve that first game. They're looking really strong, and I think especially coming into the series as the lower team out of the 2, obviously finishing below Nightfall in the standings in the end. I think they're looking really strong and can definitely push on in the series.
Yeah, 100%. I think R5's actually watching along in the chat. So, very well done to him. He's listening to the cast, he's listening to the insults we're throwing at him, so he can use it as vengeance to score some goals and come back. But it doesn't matter, because Norns there were absolutely exceptional, as we said. I mean, only, those 83 points in between the first and third play. I mean, it was a team effort, and I know points don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but the fact that all 3 of them kept them blocked together, nice team effort, nice structured approach from them, and as soon as they got their themselves together, they were able to cause some damage. So I do think if Nightfall aren't careful, Norns will be able to run away with this game a little bit too easily. Now having the first game under the belt and the way that it actually went down, Norns will be full of confidence. Nightfall maybe not so much going into game number 2.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. I think Nightfall really have to buckle down, maybe change up what they're trying to do to be able to kind of push back at Norns, because Norns were just running away with like 4 goals in 2 minutes or something almost. I think they were looking really strong, and Nightfall got to do something to combat that.
100% as Gecko trying to start the game off with a goal, can't quite find it. R5 tries to take it, but he gets as far as Pete Deek, who gets the touch across. Gecko does play the shot, but it's going to be off the post, and now Marina's going to be forced back to make a save here. 20 boost in net isn't the most brilliant situation to be in. It seems like all players on this team are low at the moment, but Gecko will just make that save and do enough to keep that one from going to the back of his net, and then gets the beat as well to the backboard. Carl put under a little bit of pressure here. Pete Deek coming in, getting that 50. Marina waiting there in the middle. It calls perfectly to them, but it will be Sammy Boy now. Picked up on the right side of the field, trying to pass it into Cal. Cal playing it to the corner wall. Gecko can't get that touch. Maybe a bit awkward, but Cal couldn't quite get there in time just to slot that one into the corner. But nevertheless, I think both teams here are going for a slightly different approach to the one we seen last game.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're kind of listening to that kind of advice I gave them. I think the only way that they're really going to improve, and as soon as I start talking that they're going to improve, Norns proceed to score their first goal. Whether Cal meant that by landing on it, we never know, but Sammy Boy was obviously caught off guard by it, not able to do anything with it, and was that Marina ended up capitalising on that mistake and scoring the first goal of this game.
Yeah. Really, that's what you really need to do in these situations. The playoff matches might be scrappy. They might not be your best performances that you've had, but you've just got to be able to pull through. But that was a beautiful pass and a nice strike from Gecko. I don't think the ball left his car on this dribble down from Marina there. He just carried the ball like a baby, guiding it right to Gecko for the strike. And wow, a sudden change of pace for Norns, and they're already 2 goals up and inside at 1 minute and 7 seconds.
Yeah, really lovely carry from Marina. Marina being the kind of only player I'm not too familiar with in the Norns team, but nonetheless, obviously carrying their weight in this series with a lovely goal and a lovely assist in just the first minute.
Yeah, but that's a beautiful bump from Cal there, getting back 1 goal for his team at least. At the moment though, it does just seem like it is Cal on that Nightfall team. And Cal seems to be doing a lot of the work for that team in the first game, especially in the second game. It just seems the same again. Cal is going to have to be on his top form, and he must do everything. It seems at the moment his teammates need to give him a little bit of help, definitely, to keep him there. We know Sammy Boy's got the capabilities of doing so. He did well down in Challenger playoffs. I know they didn't win Eclipse, but they did quite well for what was expected of them. So they've definitely got the players around them. I know R5 as well is very nifty on the ball, so they just need to maybe back up a bit more as a team. But there you go, Sammy Boy gets a goal, and the Caster Curse works in effect again.
It's always the way. It's always the way.
Ouch.
Yeah, Sammy Boy in actually a really good position for that one. Able to kind of read the clearance and just sit there and wait for it and pop it in the goal and tie this game up. And yeah, I think if Nightfall can keep up some of this pressure on mistakes and stuff like that, I think they do have a chance. But Norns are just looking incredibly strong.
Yeah, but we are back to a level game now, so you can't really know where it's going to go. This is Rocket League after all. We don't actually understand this game half the time we're casting it. We just have to sort of pretend we do. For the viewers' enjoyment. The ball's going to bounce back here. 2.5 minutes left. Marina looking to pick that pass up. He gets to 50. He's going to bounce back to the corner. R5 looking to take this one away. Pete Deek will keep possession though and trying to find a pass into the centre. But Cal says no thank you and takes it away as Gecko forced back into an awkward position here. R5 will be able to follow this ball forward, taking Marina out of the play as well. Cal looking for that bump on Pete Deek. I think he made him jump, and Sammy Boy's able to find a gap in the middle to slot the ball through and make it 3-2. And a very, very well executed play from all 3 players there of the Nightfall team, and they've managed to take the lead again. This has been a very topsy-turvy series so far, and both teams have had their grand points and their low points, and it's a very confusing one to try and cast because I haven't got a clue who's going to win this game, let alone the series.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very, very odd one to call, because Norns are looking incredibly strong when they come forward, and then just seem to crumble when there's any sort of pressure in behind, with Sammy coming in for a shot and some lovely passes coming through with. Wow! And Sammy Boy, the challenger in the rival play-ins, stepping up with a lovely little play to play over the top of Pete Deek. and put them 2 goals ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, just as I said, Carl had to do everything. Sammy Boy heard that, stepped up and scored a hat-trick. So, you know, he's definitely turned in the right direction there. And I did say, you know, he is a player with experience with that Challenger roster. He didn't have an easy ride in the playoffs, certainly not. So he's definitely got the experience, as well as R5 there. All these players, you know, are very, very good. That's not to be misconstrued, you know. I know this Norns team won the first game, and it did seem quite easy for them to win. They got the 4 goals pretty much after each other from 2-0 down. But this game, maybe they've let that get to their heads a little bit. They've got a little bit of time left, 1 minute and 30 seconds, but they were leading this game 2-0, and it's almost the complete reverse of what happened in the first game. It's just that the hourglass has flipped.
Yeah, I was literally about to say it is exactly the same as last time with the trailing team scoring the first 2 goals and being 2-0 up, and then the other team coming through with 4 goals unanswered. Yeah, it's very, very similar, just in the opposite direction.
I wonder whether that was planned. They definitely planned that, haven't they? Content and stuff.
Yeah.
Real plan. It's part of the Illuminati. You've got to watch out. Yeah. But no, 50.
Chaos in RSC playing.
Never know. I mean, it has definitely been interesting so far. That's a great 50 down. R5's going to get an open net there. There's 5. Broken the game 1 mirror, but nevertheless scored another goal, making the distance free now for Norns to score. And the worst thing Norns can do here is drop their heads, tilt, lose any of their positivity, you know, become negative. You know, it's only 1 game. They've won the first one. This takes them back to tied games, and then they're just going to play a little best of 3 at the end of it to see who can win. But you know, I just don't think this game they've been the same as they were previous. But I also do think that you've got to give credit to Nightfall, who seem to be playing a lot better than they were in the first game. They've definitely calmed down a slight bit. The rotation's been a lot smoother. The comms probably, you know, from what I've seen, they seem to be better, especially with how the players are moving around the field. It seems like they have more structure to it, and they definitely know what plays they're going for before they get them. So I do think it does require a bit more of adjustment coming from this Norn side in game number 3. Otherwise, the game might be reversed completely on its head completely in the series.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to think about with the challenger player coming in. I think it's a lot of pressure on him to kind of come in, especially in this game where he scored a hat trick and he's taken his MVP in a rival game. He's doing. I mean, as a challenger player goes, he's obviously the one you want to call on to sub up to rival. But I think bringing in a challenger player into a rival roster takes a bit of time to get used to it. It's especially when you're used to playing with your 3 or 4 for the whole season. Changing it up in play-ins is always a bit of chaos. I think Sammy's done really well, mainly in this game 2 compared to game 1. He's done really well to come in, settle in, and take this game and tie the series up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's come here to prove a point, really. To prove a point that the rival's not too far off Challenger and the top of Challenger, and I think he's showing that right now with the way he's playing. And I think he's fitting into that team now. I think they're starting to realise, the potential that he has, and the team are letting him play with the ball a little bit more, and they're rotating around him. So yeah, I thought the whole team started playing a lot better with each other. I thought, in the first game it did just seem like it was Cal, and for the first minute of that game too, it did just look like Cal was going to have to do everything. But it's good to see that R5 and Sammy Boy made him bottom of the leaderboard to prove me wrong. As I said, R5's in the chat. He's definitely passed that ahead on both sides. But it's good to see a tied game. Not good to see for my prediction, obviously, but that's irrelevant. I'm here for the good game of Rocket League. I just don't know who's going to win it though. It's just so hard to call right now, but we'll find out nevertheless, because here's game 3, ladies and gentlemen, starting for you here. Good kick-off to start the game off. We do need to see a lot more from Norns for the full 5 minutes here, and not just the first 2 minutes, because that's what it seemed to be last game. They got the first 2 goals and just shut off completely, but it's going to be Cal who will strike first there. Just a simple shot from the sidewall. No fancy mechanics, no flashy skills, just a hit past Gecko and into the net.
A really nice angle in the end, coming off the post. It meant that, I think, was it Peak Dick or Gecko on the floor? Ended up kind of not knowing, I think it was Peak Dick on the floor, not knowing if it was going in, hitting the post, so he never committed to it, and it meant that it just ended up popping in, and they've taken the lead.
Yeah, maybe some of that fatigue that you were talking about before is kicking in, because that's not something you usually expect to go in a rival playing. But Rocket League is Rocket League at the end of the day. Some of the craziest things can happen. But that's just going to be an open net for Sammy. And oh no, Norns are in danger zone here because they're not really doing anything at the moment. Peak Deek there, getting beaten out. Gecko wasn't back in rotation. But I mean, just seems like they've deflated since the previous game, the way they started in the previous, and they've just completely flipped again. It's almost like the teams keep flipping time and time again. If this goes to 4-2 to Norns, I think I'm gonna start paying a bit more attention to certain details in the game, because that would definitely be a crazy coincidence. But it's going to bounce back down. Sammy Boy's going to be able to get the clearance again. 4 minutes now on the clock remaining. R5 taking a shot towards net. Sammy Boy trying to find that redirect to make it 3-0, which would be a crazy goal tally just to have in the first minute of the game. Gecko launching a shot the other end, and oh my word, a miss from Cal, and Gecko will actually put that in. And these misses are becoming a critical part of the game from both sets of teams, both sets of players.
Yeah, it's a hard one to get up to. I think he ends up sideways rather than forwards or backwards, and they're always a bit difficult to try and get up to. But from a high rival, pretty much elite player, you kind of expect them to be able to hit that. I know it's a quick one, but yeah, it's unlucky from Cal. But hopefully he bounces back from it.
Mistakes certainly do happen, and we've seen it from both sets of players here. Not just Cal, not just any specific person. Everyone has done something stupid so far. I think we can agree on. But you know, 3.5 minutes left, 2-1. It's again like usually in a game of Rocket League, you get to see the momentum, you get to see which side is performing the best and which team you can easily call the winners. But this game is very, very different from that. This game is very, very slow. It's not too fast paced. It's not too, no one's giving too much away for how they're going to play. They're playing very slow. They're playing a very, very slow game of chess, I'd say. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. They're playing a game of chess. They're taking their time with it. They're trying to attack it each way they can. They're trying it in the air. They're trying it on the floor. They're trying the passes down, but it's going to be Cal who picks that one up. But yeah, no, it's a very peculiar game of Rocket League. I'm definitely seen too much like this before.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's a very strange one, and a double miss. What?
2 demos just to miss the ball and to give Gecko an open net. And I don't actually know what is going on in this game because, as I said, it's one of the most bizarre games I've ever been casting. But now that has topped it for the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in Rocket League. And that's a bump and a goal.
My goodness.
What's going on?
What a strange link of events, but that's Norns taking the lead from 2 very peculiar goals. And is this another mirror? What's going on?
This is the most non-rival playing I've ever seen. Like there's been absolutely no need for special things in this game so far. No need for special goals. It has literally just been. I don't know. I'm gobsmacked. I've never seen something of the sort. But another goal will go in there. R5 this time taking that one. 3-3, back to equal time. So we're not going to be repeating game 1 and 2. This is interesting. It could go either way. Again, this game is not over. There's still just under half the game left to go. It's tied at 3-3. Both teams have done very, very questionable things.
And another 2 months.
Wow. It's. I don't know.
I'd like to put it down to nerves. It's just kind of the confusion, but yeah, it's the most non-rival game I've ever watched.
Definitely, yeah, it is confusing, but that's gonna be Cal now picking up Gecko with an open chance, and he hits the crossbar. And now you're not gonna get a net that out. Well, then again, in this game you might as well. But usually you never get a net that open to shoot on. But he won't take it. R5 looking to take that ball forward. Marina just clearing it away to the other side, taking the time. 1:30 remaining, taking it towards the net, but then saving it. And Cal will clear that one back away. Peak Deep back into the middle. Sammy Boy this time will dribble this one away. Marina now keeping that pressure train going. Gecko missed, faking Cal out. Peak Deep looking to put this one towards the net. R5 clearing it away again, but Gecko getting a great demo on Sammy Boy, meaning the pressure will just be put back on by Marina. Cal again up like an acrobat, making sure that ball's going nowhere. Gecko plays it down to Peak Deek, misses the ball completely. Cal gets faked from it. This game, you could not write this game. You could not predict this game. You couldn't! What happened there?
What a lovely goal from Cal in the end.
What? I don't know what is happening. It's so random. It's like we're playing it like slow motion. Things are just happening, and it's very interesting. How? I mean, great goal by Cal. They're gonna be a beautiful goal. But are we watching the game in slow mo or going on? Because something seems a bit off about what's going on right now with these two teams. It's not what you'd expect to see.
With your analogy from earlier with the kind of chess game, I think this is really just proving that analogy right. With it's just blunders left, right, and centre, with a few nice little plays sprinkled in.
Yeah, it's like one of those chess games with no time limit either, so it's just going to go on forever between two new players. Two new players are playing, and yeah, you're never going to get a definitive winner. Nightfall will take that game. So there goes both our predictions out the window now as Nightfall take a 2-1 lead. They're on match point, somehow. They had the lead 2-0. They then went down 3-2. They then got back to 3-3 and then scored the fourth. And that is the most bizarre game I think I've ever watched in the 3 years that I've casted. Over 200 matches, that one takes it all. I have never seen anything like that in my life. That is the first cast I can happily say. I've came into the game, watched that game, and I've gone, I have no idea what has just happened.
Yeah.
I am absolutely astonished that honestly, this game does surprise you every day. It does surprise you with more and more stuff. But wow, I don't even know what either team needs to do better here for the next game. It's quite hard to call.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams just need to settle down. The only thing I can put this down to is nerves of playing on stream in play-ins with the chance of pushing forward to Sunday from today. So I think the only thing I can put it down to is nerves, and I think both teams just need to kind of settle down and play their game, which I think on a normal day they can do, but
this is not a normal day.
it's not a normal day.
Definitely not a normal day. But here we go. All 6 players back on the field again on the lovely Beckwith Park midnight map. 5 minutes on the clock. 2-1 match point this could be. If Nightfall take the win here, they go onwards and upwards, but I'm sure Norns are going to have something to say about that. Although I'm not too sure what to try and predict. I think the best thing to do in this game is just not to predict, because it's a very, very, very slippery slope if you want to do that. But Sammy Boy playing a pass to the centre. Cal picks it up early, and Cal strikes first again. Boom!
The real question is, are Nightfall the team that are going to settle? Because if they do, they're going to take this one very easily, I think. But if Norns are able to kind of play, it could go either way. It's absolute chaos, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's quite hard to talk over, because there's not much to say about what's happening. You can't really explain it. It's almost as if we've gone to a completely different level of play here. As the players, you know, that they're doing magical things every now and then, good touches, but it's just happening very, very, very slowly. It's not happening with the speed that we usually see it with. It's bouncing around, and Gecko there looking for a clear. Cal's just driving. It's almost like we've just gone into one of those season lobbies with some of the stuff we've seen in here. It's almost like these players are robots. They're not actually real, and the real game will be undisclosed behind a set of red curtains. But both players, you know, as I said, they're both trying to find ways to break each other down, but maybe this is both the team's sort of play styles. Maybe it is just, you know, slow and steady wins the race. Just play it slow and break people down. I mean, that's fair enough, and we've managed to find 2 of these teams in this game right now. Really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially compared to the last game, because I watched some of Norn's series just before this, and I feel like this is a very different team to the one that we're playing in that one. Yes, Yoruba were playing with a much lower CMB team, playing with pretty much a prospect player and a Chally player, but I just feel like they played a lot different to this, and it's just that Norns needs to come into this series for them to push forward and get anything out of it.
Yeah. I think for Norms to win, they've just got to start taking chances. At the moment, they're just playing the game very, very safe, and yet I think they're trying to both put a big safety net on the way they're playing, and I don't think a safety net's the way to go about it. I mean, for now, Nightfall can play with as much safety as they want because they're winning. But again, you know, Norms are just, they're not at the races at all at the moment. That they need, if they want to stay alive, this bracket, they've got to do more. You know, you've got to do more. And even if they win this game, they've still got more to do. The job is not done there. So they need this game. They need to start realising that. Start thinking now, we need to win this game with 2 minutes left and not 30 seconds. There's no point you starting to play well in the last 30 seconds. I know that's something that always happens. You know, you're 1 goal down, you're 2 goals down, you get to the last 30 seconds. That's when the realisation starts kicking in. As Sammy Boy trying to make them realise a little bit sooner there. 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. Sammy Boy puts in the second goal. 50 and Peak Deek out the way and scoring probably one of the easiest goals of his life. Probably one of the easiest goals he'd scored in this division and Championship division put together, to be honest with you. But there you go, 2 goals to 0 now, and I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous for Norms here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you were saying, that they're playing really safe. Like, the amount of crossbars and posts they've hit in this series must be astronomical. Like, they're playing so safe that they're not even going for shots. They're trying to give it to their teammate because they're too scared to shoot. And I think they just need to go for it, rather than what we're kind of seeing at the moment with very safe Rocket League. But I think definitely in this last minute and a half, where they're 2 goals down, they're definitely going to try and push it back up.
There you go. That's more like it.
And they half the deficit down to 1 goal, and that's a million times better than what we've seen in these last 2 games.
I think that one pass is better than anything we've seen in the last. Like, that is the top play from them, and that's what we know that Peak Deep can do. That is what we know that Gecko can do. Gecko's been doing it all game, picking up those passes and putting them forward, so he needs to receive them more. And Peak Deep there, doing exactly what he's been able to do all season long, I suspect, when he's been in a team. It's just use his mechanics to his advantage. You know, he's got the pace, he's got the speed, he can show that. And he's finally, in this game, at least started to use them to his advantage, rather than playing. It just seems awkward. I mean, I think it's probably the best way to describe it. That's the way these guys have been playing. But, you know, they've got a minute now, 1 goal to score. And I don't know whether to cheer them on just yet or wait until we see another 30 seconds of play. But Marina clearing the ball away, gets that one quite far as well. Carl will be forced to make another save. It's going to be Peak Deep to try and find the pass middle. It's coming off the ceiling. Marina's there, so is Gecko. No one making a touch. Gecko plays it back down. Peak Deep keeping the ball towards the net. Cal again making the save that we know he can do also many times. Gecko trying to 50 in, but it's going to be R5 and Cal taking it away. Cal now looking to play that one into the centre. He's got the touchdown to Sammy Boy. Sammy Boy plays the shot, but it's going to be over the bar. Gecko 0 boost. Another shot coming on from R5. Marina trying to flick the ball away, instead flicks the air. Gecko missing as well. Peak Deek tries to take it away. It's going to be Marina with the 100 boost going up into the sky. This could be it. But Sammy Boy, the Challenger player, he's already had the experience playing in playoffs for Challenger, and now he's going to do the same, it seems, for Rival as well, because this game doesn't look like it's going any other way unless a goal can go in. Oh my god, it is!
0 seconds. Peak Deep with a lovely pass, and Marina tying the game up, and we're going to overtime in game 4.
What is going on? And that is definitely one way to secure some more confidence in yourself, and we might go all the way now. They've managed to find that goal. A 0-second goal, it could only be in this game. You know, it's been a story of all tales in this one. But that's a miss in defence. And Gecko makes a lovely save. Gecko saving the lives there of Norms. I thought it might have been a little bit too difficult for him. Luckily, he had the boost available, but then Cal misses and Ademo comes in and the score. And Norms will take the game. And now we're tied at 2-2 in the series. What has just happened?
Are they trolling us? Is that what's going on today? Are they trying to troll us? I don't know.
What? That game's... Each game gets more and more confusing. Now, even the goal to equalise the game was a bit scrappy, but you expect that 0 seconds. But the fact Gecko's just managed to come from a save, get a demo to get an easy goal from Marina. Wow. That all happened in 10 seconds. And
that was great from Norms.
Shadow must be the biggest bottle.
Different. Yeah, completely different from Norms in those final few seconds, pretty much.
Shadow could have sweeped if they didn't bottle the games. They have the lead. I think they've had the lead in almost every game apart from one. They won anyway. But the games they've had the lead, they've lost. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I think they might have won one, but they've just threw that game away. Especially, I think Cal there with the saves definitely kept it going a bit longer than we'd have expected. But wow, we now go into Game 5 on Champions Field. I never thought we'd be seeing this. But we're here, and it's definitely going to be an interesting game because still at Game 5 we can't see either team being better than the other team because they both make some very nerve-wracking mistakes. They both do some absolutely amazing things, performed exquisitely, and it's about trying to mix the two and get a better balance. I think for both teams here to try and calm the nerves down, get the motivation, get the mentality set, and try and win the game, because now you're in Game 5, the nerves are going to be even heavier to win this game. And I don't really think momentum or anything like that really exists when you've got the nerves there as well. I think you can't have both. So it's a weird situation to be in for both teams.
Definitely, but this is going to be, for this season, for both of these teams, the biggest game. We're going to Game 5, there's one game in it. Winner takes all, loser goes home.
Love to see it. You love to see it.
The best kind of games.
There we go. The players are joining the lobby, and I think I'm just as nervous as the players at the moment because I could just imagine the feeling. Just imagine, because I didn't make playoffs for the season myself, but I can imagine the feeling of the nerves hitting in these playoffs, because they do hit you even if you try and lock them out any way you can. It's difficult to do so. Marina, though, on the kickoff, will be going for this aerial. Does miss. It will be Peak Peak's turn to pick the ball up, taking some boost as well. Sammy Boy flicks it out. Gecko gets the 50 R5. Not able to do too much. Cal, though, will come in handy and clear the ball away. Sammy Boy 50 that one down to the side of the wall. Gecko going to push across to this one, playing it onto the backboard. Cal looking to clear the ball away once more. Gecko going to push this one and try and 50 it into the centre, but it will be Peak Peak to follow it up, put it onto the backboard. Sammy Boy's awkward. Marina to the backboard as well. Peak Peak will be able to turn on this one up, put it towards, again, the backboard, but it just seems like that's where its end point is. It's like a train station. The train stops at the backboard, and it's not moved from there since. For this team, they just need to find maybe a better route to go into the centre field.
Yeah, I mean, all I can think right now is, are we watching the same teams? Because as it stands, this Game 5 has been millions better than the last two games we've watched in pure ability, and yeah, but so far in this Game 5 it really could go either way.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like it is like that game of chess we were on about. Both teams, even though we're in Game 5, they've had loads of time to figure each other out. Both teams are still trying to work that out. They're still trying to understand what's going on, because I don't know if they know what's going on themselves. Marina there, looking a bit more lively, trying to go for that double tap attempt, nearly getting there. But we are starting to see a little bit more of a glimpse of mechanical play coming out from Norms, especially. Not too much yet from the opposite side though, with Nightfall, but they are playing a very strong defense, which I think they've been doing the whole way through. To be fair, Cal at the back has been absolutely solid, not letting anything get past them at all. He's been like a bit of a ballistic shield in that sense. No ball will get past him and into his net. He's been blocking that entire net up almost single-handedly. Obviously, the two players beside him have done a great job at times as well. But it's going to be a shot there from Marina, a very ambitious attempt. R5 will clear that one away very, very slowly. And Cal will try and get it forward. Gecko launching a shot onto net. Sammy Boy this time to the corner, as we are now approaching half the game gone. Still no goals have been scored, and still no real opportunities for a goal to be scored, I wouldn't say. But this could be it. Peak Geek luckily gets the boost and gets back in time. if that shot had any more power, it could have been crucial, and it could have been a goal, to be honest, but it wasn't, and now it will be returned back to Nightfall again. It just seems like the plays are starting to form, but they're still just not there yet. You know, something's missing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Norn's currently 4 shots ahead. Four shots in total, make that 5. With Nightfall only having 1 so far, which was what we just saw from Sammy. And yeah, I just think Norn's currently looking a bit more aggressive, but Nightfall definitely holding that defensive line, as you mentioned with Cal. And yeah, it's really too tough to call.
Yeah, it's still very, very slow, but nevertheless, you know, we are just gonna have to sit and watch this and see what happens. But that might be a goal, actually. It's a shot, and the follows on the is right at the keeper, and twice there the ball is hit off the post. Nobody was able to score it. The Peak Deek now will take the ball, launch it to the backboard. It's going to bounce back to Gecko here, touches it back across into the centre. R5 will clear it away. Peak Deek gets the touch down. He's looking for that second one. R5 will get the touch instead. And it's going to be back into the centre here by Marina. Playing it up to the sidewall, trying to find Gecko, who is waiting there down below. Gets the flip reset, gets the... to see. That is what we needed to see, a little bit more from these players, and we finally found it, and it's resulted in a goal straight away. The great flip reset from Marina falls straight to Gecko's pathway, and Gecko's fast enough to slot that top left corner. And finally, we see a goal from Norns in this game. You know, we have seen the pressure, as we said, but we haven't seen them break down that defensive line. And finally, Gecko with 5 shots, one of them goes in.
Yeah, absolutely lovely in the end. I think Nightfall are absolutely kicking themselves with those pretty much 3 full commit shots on net and not able to score with 1 post and 2 saves. But they're still there. They're still fighting with another shot coming through, and yeah, there's still everything to fight for in this game. With 45 seconds to go, both teams still full pushing, and they know what's on the line.
Yeah, they do, and you know, now is not the time for those nerves. I mean, either be nervous and play badly, or lose the game. Do you know what I mean? It's you're not got too much of a mick here. You've got to get those nerves out as soon as possible, and you've got to start playing like, come on, boys, we need to win this game. If we don't win this game, we're out. You know, but when are you going to start letting that set in? We're now down to the last 10 seconds of the match. It doesn't seem like anyone's making a move just yet. Good midfield control at the moment from Norns to just keep that ball away. It's going to be R5 to keep the ball going forward, but Gecko's going to play it to the sideball. Sammy Boy now with the last laugh here on the shot. It's going to be off the post again, and it will touch the ground. Then Norns will be your winners and will be going to the playoffs after what I can only describe as the most peculiar game and performance. I do not think they'd have made it out 2 games ago. Never mind win the game, but they somehow have pulled through, and they've made it happen, and they've got through. They've done it.
That is what we like to call controlled chaos. Norns, I think, letting us have a bit of fun in the end. I think in the grand scheme of things, looks like the stronger team, but it was Nightfall's to lose in the end. There was so many opportunities they were ahead in that series and games that they ended up throwing away. And they, as you said, between game 4 and 5, they could have won that in a sweep, but end up losing. Yeah, I think the post really is the MVP for Norns in that series. Like 2, 3, maybe 4 end up hitting the post in that one, but yeah, it's a strange series to watch.
It was the worst and the best game of Rocket League I've ever watched in my life. There was so many different things going on. It was so hard to try and, you know, which part do we actually focus up on? The series MVP, though, as you can see there, Gecko from Valkyrie Knights. And, you know, I think that's a fair thing to say, is that every time he got a good pass, he put it into the back of the net, I think. I don't think he missed too many chances. I know there was one that he hit the crossbar, but he was probably the most consistent player out of a very inconsistent battle from the 2 teams. But a very, very good game indeed from both sets of players, I must say. And, you know, they did both fight until the end. They did both keep it going. They did try their best to win the game, but eventually it was Valkyrie Knights who were able to to close it out after a very panicky, I think, fourth game, very panicky fourth game. They settled it in game number 5.
Yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, both teams played well in their battles. I think that game 5 really proved that both teams were up for it today. It was so close with lots of shots, lots of chaos, but Norns taking that final 1-0 win, pushing themselves through to Championship Saturday, I believe. And yeah, it was a chaotic game to watch, but a fun one nonetheless. And I wish Norns the best of luck going through to Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely indeed. We did predict the right team, but we didn't predict the score, unfortunately for us. But no, that is it for this game. But don't go anywhere, because you've got Onka versus Journeyman next. You've got the Panthera versus Forge battle. So don't you go anywhere. Wait for it after the break, and we'll see you very, very soon. Goodbye now.
See you later.
Stop searching for gold, lost all day. I'm on the life list. It's time to break through. Will the edges of my heart dull this restless love? I can't say. Don't turn back, don't delay. 'Cause nothing goes right till the moment you arrive. Don't give up on the sidelines. Just keep your heart in mind. Don't leave yourself behind. Then the past came back looking unfit to move forward, and I fell to my knees. Then fought back and moved past it, singing my mistakes with my friends that believe. Will the grandeurs of my heart always be forgotten? I can't say. Don't turn back, don't delay. 'Cause nothing goes right till the moment you arrive. Don't give up on the sidelines. Just keep your head up high. Don't leave yourself behind. Oh, when have I ever let you down? Could there ever once be a moment that makes it worth it? No, how could I ever let you down? Could there ever once be a moment that makes this worth it?
If I walk away, then who's gonna carry you home? If I walk away, then who's gonna gonna carry you home. We may have had a bit too much, but no one has to know. But if I walk away, then who's gonna carry you home? I'll carry you home. Well, we came here for the weekend. It was your friend's idea. It started as just a few of us. Now everybody's here. And you took my hand and you told me, Dan, I'm not really one for crowds. And you took off out the window as fast as legs allowed. I thought if we just slowed down, we might start making sense. If I walk away, then who's gonna carry you home? If I walk away, then who's gonna carry you home? Well, we may have had a bit too much, but no one has to know. But if I walk away, then who's gonna carry you home? I'll carry you home. So you shivered under covers in the tail end of the summer. A certain sick no medicine could tame. And we were just kids, that's the hardest part. The things we build just to rip them apart. Oh, you ripped me apart. I thought if we just slowed down, we might start making sense. If I walk away, then who's gonna carry you home? If I walk away, then who's gonna carry you home? Well, I came here with my baby. I'm not leaving here alone. But if I walk away, then who's gonna carry you home? I'll carry you home.
Brought us gifts, baby, to help with heavy minds. I met you on a Monday. Now I daydream about you all the time. If life has gotten boring, if you need a new thrill, if you think it couldn't hurt, baby, it eventually will. You took off on a Friday. I'm back to baby blue skies every night. Well, I
done the dreaming, but I don't miss the chills, still don't miss the mornings, or the hospital bills. But I was thinking, if you want, I still got some blood we can spill. I know I'll never fix you, but I guess I don't care. And if there was a hell, I think I'd follow you there, because I'm running through my nights without you, running through my nights without you here. Well, I promise not to kiss you. I made a mistake. I promise not to miss you. But what can I say? Think you're gonna need somebody with time you can waste on your weekdays. Well, I promise not to kiss you. I made a mistake. I promise not to miss you. But what can I say? If you ever needed somebody with time you can waste on your weekdays.
Storm that meets the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Who you think you are? Who you think you
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final game of the RSC stream tonight, where we'll see Onka taking on Journeyman in the upper bracket. And joining me alongside for his first ever RSC cast, give him some love in the chat, it is Astronomy, aka Daryl Borgman. Welcome, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited to see the matchup between Onka and Journeyman. What are your predictions for the matchup?
Well, it's going to be a banger matchup. I predicted it already on RSC cast. I had it as a 3-1 towards Onka. As I said, Sinksy, I think he's just too big a carry for thing. As an Ark mentioned, obviously, that's why he's manually adjusted so many times. Hashtag he's never going to Charlie. But yeah, you got any predictions for this game? Obviously being newer to the league.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you, to be honest. Players are just too good, and I think Journeyman are going to struggle, but it's going to be an interesting game, and I think they do have a chance to win, but we're just going to have to see.
Yeah, and it depends even if they decide to turn up, but, well, we're going to see how they fared out in the season. Obviously, it's the first game of an upper bracket, so it is second versus third. Obviously, here's the bracket now. Obviously, we've seen Norns go through the bracket, 3-1 in Yoruba, and a very, very close 3-2 with Nightfall. And even a 0-second goal win in OT allowed Norns to make it through to the playoffs tomorrow, but we'll see who joins them in the lower bracket and who will stay in that upper bracket. Obviously, the games Uranium Sentinels, Anarchy Continuum, and Mystics, and the winner of that game will be played tomorrow. But moving on now, obviously, Onka, second in their group, obviously beaten out by Tizok on the final week. And Journeyman, they were third in their group, in a very competitive group. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do tonight.
I'm excited to see Zen playing for Journeyman because they seem to be the best player for that team, and I feel like they're going to be the main carry for Journeyman to give them any sort of hope to beat Onka because they seem to be pretty dominant at the moment.
Yeah, they did. Obviously, I've talked about Sinksy. I talked about it on the RSC casters. Sinksy versus Axlos, Battle of the Captains. Both have been there all season. Both have been a massive part of their team's success, as obviously can show. Sinksy with 146 saves and 67 goals. He's been the stand-up player. Him and Robin, obviously, they've played together in ERS Season 1 in Prospect under After Dark. So it'll be interesting to see their chemistry. With Fancy, it seems, as a sub, and on Journeyman, Axlos, Sen, and Kendo will be your lineup tonight. Sen playing all 72 games, 106 saves. It looks like it's gonna be a massive goal games.
I'm excited to see that, to be honest, because that's what gets the hype up, and you don't really want one goal happening a game, so it'll be an exciting match, I think.
Yeah, it will be, obviously. I think all teams are set in the lobby, and if you're ready, I think we get underway in this best of 5. Obviously, determining which team moves on in the upper bracket. Axlos coming out with that RN Genius title, and well, be interesting to see what both these sides can come up with now. But game number 1, we are underway.
Kick off. Batman on the demo, and a shot from Robin, and a goal straight away from Robin. An amazing assist from Batman getting demoed, but there was just no defense.
Yeah, Onka starting off with a very, very good start. Lovely kick-off goal. They won't be complaining. It only took them 5 seconds to find the back of the net. And now it's another kick-off, but it goes in favour of Journeyman. Kendo with the ball to the corner now. It's going to go off the corner, but well read by Mox. I believe, if I'm correct, he's the AGM this season, so he'll be looking on to try and win the tier, let alone go through the win today, as Kendo puts it to the corner, cleared out by Mox. But I think if anything, Journeyman need a response quick to put this game back on level terms.
Journeyman appear to be playing more defensive than they are offensive. Even though they have one person putting the pressure on, but it seems that Onka been able to push past that, and they seem to be on the attack now.
They are, well, it'd be interesting to see if that's a 50 in the midfield between Axlos and someone else. If that ball is floating high in the air, Axlos is going to beat Robin to it, but Sinksy's on the backboard. Demo from Kendo turns out ineffective as the ball is cleared downfield. And a lovely bump now. It's going to set up Robin versus Kendo, but Kendo, brilliant save. It allows the ball, but Mox counter-intuitive on what Journeyman might have had planned. Sinksy's up again, looks for a goal. It's a lovely shot off the top of the net. And well, Sinksy doesn't look like he's getting beaten anytime soon in the air. It's 2-0 Onka now, and a very strong start for Sinksy.
It was an amazing shot by Batman, but we have the kickoff starting up again. Mox and Axelos on the kickoff. Onka winning the kickoff, but being put straight back into their half. A dominant 50 for Journeyman, but 2 whiffs. And an amazing save by Mox. I thought that was going to go in, to be honest. Robin on the ball, being hit into Journeyman's half. It seems that Onka have really been the dominant team so far. Another shot on, an amazing save by It's Kendo. Both teams really applying pressure, not letting another team score. It's 2-0 already to Onka, but I do think that Journeyman, if they keep on applying pressure that they have been in the past couple seconds, and I reckon they do have a chance to win this game.
Here we go, that was a chance, but it's deflected by Axelos. Could have been so much better from us. Robin, a bit of a misplay. It's going to end up in front of the Journeyman net, but it's cleared away. Bit of scroppy, but Sinksy, the banger bullet of a shot, as that shot goes down wide from Robin. Not exactly where they wanted it placed. But Sinksy now beats out Kendo and Axlos. Gonna pick up the ball. He's got his little owl on his head. I think he's got about 13k goals with that owl. I'm sure he'll correct me later on when he watches the VOD back. But that ball just lurking dangerously in the Journeyman half. They've had one shot all game long as Sen eventually gets the ball cleared as Mox puts it to the centre. That attack's going to fizzle out as there's constant pressure. It's just being kept and kept and kept, and they're just not letting them get out of their own half here.
Axelos trying to clear the ball, but it's Endo's done it for him, and it's in Onka's half. Journeyman are trying to apply pressure, but as soon as they start an attack, it just seems to be capitalised upon. Kendo here dribbling the ball around two people, being another just an open net. There's just no defense from the Journeyman, and Mox has got another goal.
It's just overcommit. It's Journeyman just needing that goal, and Mox just capitalizes on the overcommit. It's 3-0 Onka in the space of 3 minutes here, and Journeyman looked like they had their first promising attack going forward, but Sen and Axlos just caught up amongst each other. Sen booms it downfield, and that's a bang into the midfield. Is it going to be capitalized on? A bit of a time taken for Sinksy there, but it's a lovely bump onto him as Mox clears it downfield. Good 50 with the corner from Sen, but Mox is up now. Mox gets the beat over Axlos, and Sen, it's a lovely clear downfield, but pressure's relieved for now as Sinksy booms it back into the Journeyman half, and Journeyman they just can't deal with him. He puts a shot on net, but Sen is going to save it away, gets his first save of the game.
I do think that Onka has just dominated the first half of the game. Going into the second half, they've also just not let Journeyman get any goals, or there's been no light at the end of the tunnel. They've just been hammering them with pressure, and I don't think Journeyman can handle it, and I don't think they're going to be able to do anything to keep them in the game.
No question at all, and Kendo puts the first promising shot on, but Sinksy just looks to be absolutely having no troubles in defense as Axos finds a shot. That's going to go wide. A bit of a double commit could be countered here, but it's a lovely bump from Mox onto Sen, and a lovely demo sets Sinksy up as he just dominates past Axlos again as Kendo bangs it. Kendo looking for the second touch, but it's going to be beaten up to by Sen as Sinksy looks for the controls, and yeah, he goes for the Kuxa pinch now. I've known him as a freestyler back in the day, but he doesn't look to be getting anything with 20 seconds left. Game one looks to be Onka's, and that goes over the bar. A few chances and a lovely bump. And what a save from Robin. It just goes wide. Onka defense just not giving up.
In the last few seconds of the game, Journeyman really put a lot of effort into getting, just securing one goal, but that is going to be a win for Onka. Batman getting the MVP, and just an amazing performance for the first game.
Brilliant showing from Onka. Journeyman, they built themselves back up into the game. 6 shots, 3 saves, 4 saves, 7 shots for Onka. Onka just did not look to have an ounce of pressure on their backs there. Journeyman, they need to come up with a different game plan here, or they're going to find themselves very quickly 2-0. They don't seem to have a response for this Onka side. Obviously, as I said, I think if it had gone another week with Tizok's current form, I think they would have been playing Tizok tonight, Journeyman, but they do find themselves playing Onka, and a side which I've put personally to go on and win the grand finals.
Journeyman did put up, did they have really good defense for that game, even though they're just getting constantly attacked by Onka, but Onka their attack has been really good, and unless Journeyman can have good offense as well as their amazing defense, I don't think Journeyman are going to be able to push past.
Well, we'll have to see. Another 5 minutes comes up. The scoreboard back at 0-0. Obviously, there is nothing stopping these sides now as we're going to get into game number 2. Onka having a very strong game number 1. It'll be interesting to see what they can do in game number 2. A strong start would leave them, and a strong game and a win here would leave them onto match point, but a loss would set Journeyman back in level terms as Sen onto the backboard. It's a lovely 50 out. That's going to beat past Sinksy though. Sinksy going to have to rush back and pull off a save. Already though, Journeyman showing better signs of life than the first game. Kendo bangs it onto the backboard. Robin's going to get the miss clear, sends up, and it's a brilliant start for Journeyman. They find their first goal of the game, and what a play it is. Onka just not looking like their game one selves.
Journeyman have dominated through the first kickoff, really putting on the pressure, not letting Onk have a break or even a gasp for air. As they go for the kickoff again, Onka wins it, but it's straight into Journeyman's possession. Singsy's up for the ball, tries to get a reset, but can't quite get it. Endo flying up, trying to take the ball into Onka's half, but Sinksy again just defending as hard as he can to try and not let Journeyman get another goal.
Yeah, and that's going to be a shot just going wide for Journeyman, but they've put a very strong performance in game 2, showing they just needed a bit of warm-up maybe. I would put it down to nerves of Kendo and Sen, and not Axlos, because Axlos I'm sure has done this thousands of times before. He's won the rival tier the last time he participated in it. So we'll have to see if he can do it again. Sinksy, ball into the midfield, it's a lovely 50, he beats 2, but Robin not able to beat Kendo there as Kendo looking to put it mid, but it just goes wide. And now Sinksy's left back again. Can he beat Axlos? He can, convincingly as well. Can he go all himself? No, he misses the ball. Another miss coming out from Kendo, and a miss coming out from Sinksy. That might die out the attack now. Ball goes just across net. Robin not going to read, and somehow this game still is in Journeyman's hands.
Journeyman they've really outdone themselves with the defense so far. They've only had one little slip up which didn't even lead to the goal that Onka have needed at the moment, and Journeyman they've really just told us that all they needed was a little bit of warm up to get themselves back into the game and been able to participate against Onka, and they've just been dominating this game.
Sinksy now though, he's looking to push it forward, he's looking for that chance that will put them ahead. A lovely pass back to Mox, and Mox bangs upfield. Sinksy, he's going to need to pull something out of his magic hat. Robin beats him, it's a lovely clear. Sinksy though does get bumped by Sen. Ball middle, Mox maybe not expecting it, low boost, pins it to the corner. Bounce middle, Axos doesn't read it, but Kendo, wearing the Scottish flag with pride, gets a massive clear out. And Sinksy though beating out 2 defenders, and a quick shot from Mox is gonna find the bottom corner. Lovely little passing play there. Sinksy at the front of it, beating out Kendo and Sen. And what a shot placement from Mox. He finds the bottom right corner. Axlos not gonna save it, and it's 1-1.
That placement was perfect. Didn't allow the defender to get anywhere near to be able to try and get a save. But it seems to be Journeyman just getting kick-off goal right back. Axelos putting it, also perfect placement, bottom left corner. Defender just couldn't get to it.
Well, it's a lovely shot from him, and well, all of Onka's hard work in the last 2 minutes just gets erased, and they have to start anew again, as now Axlos is looking to extend the lead here. But Robin, it's a lovely beat for him on the sidewall. Someone who's been very, very not seen much of this game is Robin. He was maybe the benefactor to their game 1. He did help out a lot upfield, but we've seen a lot of him in the defense this game. That's a 50 from Sen, which clears it downfield. Axlos though looking for the mid ball, he's not going to get it. Double commit from Onka, and Sinksy left to pick up the pieces. It's another save, but Kendo is going to commit. Onka all over the place. Sinksy can't 1v3 in defense, and it is 3-1 to Journeyman now.
I think Journeyman have. There's still 2 minutes left of the game where Onka could really pull themselves together and try and tie it up. But Journeyman, from what they've been showing so far, that they're just not going to let any goals in, and you know, their defense has been incredible.
It has been, but we're going to see, can Onka break it again? Axlos, big booming clear upwards, and Sen, good control from him on the sidewalls. They look to take a game here. Ball middle to Robin, and it's a bit of a back pass. I don't know whether it was calculated, but Kendo is seen going flying past. I'm sure we'll see him soon in defense, as there he is, looking for a demo onto Mox. He's not going to get it. Sen looks for the ball middle. He's not going to get it again, and Mox, lovely bang downfield. Not going to challenge Kendo as Robin gets a demo onto Axlos. turns out to be ineffective as Sinksy. He loves these solo plays, he loves these opportunities. Flip reset, and oh, it's just gone wide of the crossbar. Sinksy, though, he's looking to do it all himself again.
The pressure that Onka have been putting they've really just shown and trying to show that they can win this game. Mox trying to center the ball, Axelos with the save, trying to follow it up, but Robin's there to meet him. Sinksy trying to go up for the ball, but they've left Mox in a 1v2. Net is open, but Robin's there again to save it. Sen on the ball, trying to push it into their half. It's a rule 1 from Sen and Sinksy, I think. No. Sinksy on the ball, trying to pass to Mox, hitting it into their half. Still 20 seconds left of the game, trying to center it, but Sen clears it all the way into Onka's half. Sinksy. Oh.
Sorry. We see Robin on the side, boys, looking for a bang forward. Kendo, though, looks for a shot, and that's going to be game and match secured. They're going to look for a consolation goal here. Bit of momentum, maybe, off of the second game. Sinksy's going to shoot it wide. Not going to come to anything. It's game 2. Goes to Journeyman, and we're all tied up.
Journeyman just showed us that all I said last game was wrong, and that they are able to put up a game and just amazing performance against Onka. All they needed was just one game to really get themselves together and just beat the dominant team that Onka appears to be right now.
Yeah, they are. Journeyman have found a way to pin them down, pin Onka down, and well, it just caused a bit of panic, it seems, for Onka. They didn't know what to do, and well, Journeyman, they just had their number, and I wonder that I'm gonna say the next game is crucial. Whoever takes match point, if it's Journeyman, then they've clearly got Onka on read. If not, if it's Onka, then Journeyman are gonna have to figure out a different strategy.
I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think there's any sort of. I think it's a perfect balance. The game could go either way.
It could, but we're going to see what's going to happen here. They all join up. Obviously, a big change of momentum needed.
As we head into the third game, Sen and Sinksy on the kickoff. We'll see who it goes to. It does go to Onka. Sinksy on the ball, but does get demoed by Kendo. Robin trying to follow it up the wall. Sen's there to meet him, but can't quite do anything with the low boost that he has. Axelos catching the ball, dribbling around the defender. Robin there to meet him. Kendo trying to pass it into the middle by banging it off the corner, but doesn't seem to work. Robin taking control of the ball, but Journeyman have just not letting them get the ball out of their half as it's been sent back in there again. Then trying to aerial the ball. An amazing pinch and a goal. What was that? I was not expecting that to go in. I was expecting maybe just a pass, but he just scores it straight behind the defender. Nothing they could do.
It's a ghost touch on Mox end, and I think Mox has that save. He panics and backflips. That ultimately costs them, and 1-0 down they find themselves. Kendo looking to get the ball middle. Robin does do so, but Mox, it's a lovely clear out to the corner as Mox goes up now. He does get beat down, but his Sen beats Robin as Sinksy's last one back. Lovely pass middle. Lovely shot from Axelos. Journeyman really picking up the pace here. They've got Onka on read, and, well, they just have no answer. It's 2-0 now.
I think Onka really thinking back to that last game where they just got beat and just pretty much dominated throughout the whole entire game. They need to get back into that round 1 mindset where they were just dominating Journeyman, but it seems that Journeyman aren't going to allow that to happen, and they're not going to be able to get into that mindset because they aren't able to get it out of their half until Mox just trying to push it up by himself. Sinksy following it up. It's a demo onto Robin, and I think Sinksy not allowing the demo to really have any effect. Axelos trying to go for the 50, wins it, Mox not letting it go back into their half, but more constant pressure, demoing Axlos in the process. It's a 1v2 for Kendo, amazing flick, but Sinksy with the save.
Yeah, brilliant bit of gameplay we're seeing from Journeyman. They've really tuned it up since that game 1, that game 2. They just haven't done that. Sinksy puts it wide. I mean, both defenders were on the goal line, but he could have done better there. Sinksy again going past the ball, giving Kendo a bit of chance to control it, and he does miss the bang. Oh, it's a good fake from Robin. Can Robin go all the way? Sinksy, oh, I don't think he's meant to touch it past him, but Sinksy does it anyway. Bit of a lucky goal, or was it calculated? I guess we'll never know.
There are still 3 minutes left in this game. I think Onka, just that goal has just given them a little glimpse of hope that in the next 3 minutes anything can happen, and that they might be able to just take control of this game and really put Journeyman in their place.
As now that's a good pinch along the side. Well, Robin though does go flying past the ball. Mox though, he's going to look to do it himself, but it's a lovely bang. Can Axlos get the read off? He can, but Sinksy waiting patiently in the net. He picks up his second save of the game. He looks to get the bang middle. He just goes flying past the ball. He does bump Kendo though, but Robin not close enough to get the follow. Mox now, he's not known for his mechanics, but that's a lovely shot in, and Sen, it's a beautiful save into the bottom corner. It's Sinksy now. It's a good pinch. It's going middle, but Robin is going to get beaten out by Kendo. As Sinksy looks to push it forward, it's a beautiful bang to the backboard. Axlos though clears it away. It's a lovely bang from Mox. Can he get the double tap? No, Kendo. Lovely bit of prevention play. Sinksy's up. This has to be a shot, but it's just missed by him as Mox still looking to apply pressure. And they're trying to find their game oneself again, but Journeyman just locking down the gates.
Journeyman have been on that defense yet again, and it seems they've got onto the offense, but I think they just lost a little bit of that pressure and that dominance with Mox demoing 2 defenders. But Axlos is trying to go all the way and still scores while being the only person on his team on the field. That is insane.
Little 1v3 merchant, he wears the white title. Some say for placebo, some say because he deserves SSL. I say the second option. Just 1v3s casually, and Axlos, he will take the team 3-1 up. Same scoreline as last game here, but Sinksy does get demoed. It stops the attack for now. Robin onto the backboard. It's a beautiful banging clear from Axlos. He beats out Mox as Sen and Kendo in his 2v1 against Sinksy. Not good enough shot though. Sinksy finds his 3rd save of the game as he looks to press forward now. He looks to beat Axlos. He goes alone. Sinksy's playing a 1v3 as well. He does it all himself. He doesn't need the team. Beats out Sen. 50s Kendo. Kendo tries to bump him off, and he still gets there. 2-3 now. The gap's back to 1, and Sinksy really trying to haul his way through this defense.
Sinksy just telling us that even though we're 2 goals down, there's still 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. We're still in this game, but it doesn't matter. Journeyman have just scored one right back. It's almost like Sinksy's efforts have just been flushed down the drain, and Journeyman have got a 2-0 lead again, or 2-goal lead again.
Well, it's a 2-goal lead, and it's good to see for Journeyman if you're there supporting them in chat. As now Kendo looks to push it forward, and now we're gonna see someone push it, and there's a shot for Sen, and well, Onka really looking shatters here. 5-2 now to Journeyman, and well, Onka, they just look beaten already.
Anything can happen. There's still a minute to go, but I do think that Journeyman have I think they're just going to lock down the win, and I don't think Onka are going to be able to push past their amazing defense. I say that. Mox has got a shot. Axlos has saved though. Still in their possession, and yeah, I think Onka are just going to struggle to get 3 goals in the next 40 seconds.
The ball goes middle, but Axlos with a clear out. Sinksy looks for the shot, and well, it's just going wide as now Mox booms it into the midfield. Axlos clears it away, and it's a good 50 in the midfield. Sinksy puts it middle, and Sen is just going to clear it away, but Onka just not doing enough at the minute as Robin looks for 50 on Axlos. It's not going to be beaten. Sinksy tries to pop it over 1. Robin's there, but it's a 50 by Sen. And well, Journeyman, they have the momentum at this point. I'm only wondering what Game 4 looks like.
As the clock ticks down, and Onka almost get a goal, but it's not going to be enough. And the game has concluded, and Journeyman have won with a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, very dominant 3-goal lead as well. Axelos being the charging force there, 3 for 3. I said at the start it'd be Axelos versus Sinxi, and I stick to that. Both dropping over 600 points, while their teammates, well, for Sen, I say Sen is an honourable mention, close enough, but the others not getting near. They have played their part, but for Onka, maybe they could do a bit more. Mox and Robin, just, I don't know. They could be doing a bit more, but we'll have to see how game number 4 unravels here, because Sinxi's got to. Yes, the first goal was mainly set up by Robin, but apart from that, not much being done.
I think Onka are gonna have to really pull something out of the bag to be able to, because Journeyman just seem to be really on form at the moment, and they seem to be the dominant team, but anything can happen. There's still 5 more minutes where Onka can really try and put a lead here and try and get back into that positive mindset where they have been dominant.
Dominant mindset is what Onka need to have going into this game, as they all join up now. Maybe a bit of a team talk might have helped, but I'm sure they get it after a while. As now we're going to see the game kick off again, and well, it's the first goal I think that really matters in this series, as now we see the ball cleared out by Kendo, and it's going to be an early goal for Journeyman, not what Onka would have wanted. It's a kickoff goal. Sinxi just clears it to the side, doesn't follow up, and Kendo smacks it past Robin, and it's 1-0 Journeyman already.
I think Onka have, I think they're just crumbling at the moment, but there's still 4 minutes and 55 seconds remaining, and Sen's already up for the ball, applying pressure into Onka's half. Robin getting demoed. There's just no breathing space for Onka, but as Sinxi tries to air dribble it into their half with no boost, he has no teammates that are going to follow it up. A shot from Mox, but it just goes a little bit wide. Robin and Sinxi need to make a turn and try and apply more pressure, because their defense just hasn't been good enough to defend Journeyman. Mox trying to get a shot on, but it's just too wide. Robin trying to get it back into their half. Below 50, it's not going to do anything. Mox with the save, and they're using that as an ability to get it into their half, but it's just not going to work.
Well, we see Mox now pushing the ball forward. He needs to do something for his side, and it's a shot, and it's that. I was about to say that needs to go in, and Sen is just listening to me. He's got that stream open. He knows Onka needs a goal, but he shouldn't be scoring it for them.
It's just appeared that Onka have got back into that mindset maybe, and they do have a chance to win this. Send Zingzi on the kickoff. It could be a kickoff goal for Journeyman again. Just, I don't know, just Journeyman just seem to be like they can't, when they do get a goal, it just, all of their progress just gets rid of.
Well, it's just a shame to see all Onka's hard work, well, Sen's hard work reduced, but I'm sure he will not be complaining, as now we see Sinxi left as last man in defence, and that ball is boomed upfield to be cleared away by Kendo. Mox though looking to push the ball even further forward. It's cleared up. It's a big 50, but it's going to be won up by Journeyman. Can Arcos find the bump? No, he can't, and that could be a shot, but Sinxi gets to it just in time, as now he looks to go forward himself, and he's leapfrogging around, but I don't think that's going to help him, as with 3 minutes 20 on the clock, there's going to be a third goal going in for Kendo. He scores his hat-trick, and in 3 shots, 3 goals, Journeyman look dominant.
I think Onka do still have this in the bag though. Not all hope is lost. There is still 3 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. Anything can happen. I think they can pull something out of the bag here, as Mox and Kendo, who's been the dominant player, go for kickoff. Axelos going to try and get the double tap but can't quite get it. Then trying to hit it up the wall, getting a bumped by a teammate there while trying to go up the wall. Dinksy on the shot, but it just goes wide again. They can't seem to shoot anything on target. Axelos with the defense, not letting anything get past. It's like a wall of iron. They just can't get through.
Since game one, that it's just been impenetrable as Axelos looks to pin it up, but it's cleared away by Mox. Sen, though, looks to control it. And, well, that's Sen. He just bumps Zinxie. He knows how to get rid of him, but Kendo puts it wide. RIP is 100% shooting percentage. Not that he probably cares at the minute, and Mox pulls out an amazing save, but a double commit on the goal line is going to put Kendo's fourth in. He is scoring goals for fun. Axelos and Sen do the damage. Kendo puts the final blow in, and Onka are just looking more and more hopeless.
Kendo's really been putting in all the goals and all the effort, and kind of been carrying Journeyman's offense, and just not the defense that Onka are putting up. There's just not been enough to stop him. He's really been the MVP for this match, I think, and I don't think Onka can contain him.
Zinxie now looking to push the ball forward, looking for some sort of goal back as the ball goes over. That's a lovely demo on the goal line. Has to be converted, though. It is converted by Mox. Mox has found his shooting boots. He's put them on this game, and he wants to lead the charge instead of Zinxie. It's a lovely 50 by Robin, a lovely demo, lovely team play there incorporated. As it's 4-2 now, the gap remains at 2 goals, 2 minutes down. We've seen bigger comebacks. Obviously, we've seen it tonight with the Norns Nightfall series. That had 0 seconds on the clock with a goal needed, and they've ended up going to win the series. So, a lot can be said there. Robin looking for the bump. He goes bumping the post instead of anything else. But now we're going to see ball being moved forward. It's a lovely 50 outwards. And, well, time ticks away. We're going to see what this Onka side can do because they need goals quickly. Zinxie, though, looks for that goal. Isn't going to get it just wide. And, well, time ticks away. Confidence ticks away. And, well, Onka, I think, need a goal before the 30-second mark hits.
Onka they've gone from a three goal down to 2 goals down, but they can still win this. But Journeyman have really just shown a shot from Mox. Is that gonna? It is. That placement was all that they needed to stop the defenders from saving that, and I think that's going to give the momentum to be able to tie it up with Journeyman and potentially even win.
I said they needed a goal before the 30-second mark. Mox has decided to come out and put his big boy pants on. And he's decided to come and play. And, well, we're going to have to see what Onka can do. They're going to have to do a bit of defending first. Axelos into the corner. He looks for a shot. That's going to go over. They're looking a bit dangerous here. Oh, Journeyman as Kendo goes up looking for his 5th goal of the game here. Sen looks for ball middle. He does get the ball middle. Robin, though, it's a lovely clear out. Zinxie beats Kendo. Can he get the bump onto Axelos? It'd be superior if he could, but he can't. And 44 seconds left. Onka, they're attacking. They need to put something in the back of the net now.
Journeyman have the last-ditch efforts to secure this win and not let Onka get another goal to tie up, to potentially take it into overtime. But Onka are trying their hardest to counter that and just get themselves into overtime where they could potentially win. Zinxie trying to take it into Journeyman's half. Robin going up the wall, but amazing defense from Axelos, not letting it get there. A shot from Zen, but it's just put wide. Last couple seconds, they really need this goal now. They really need to put it into their half. An amazing attempt by Mox, but it's just not going to be enough. There's no one there, and Journeyman have won and dominated and really just shut Onka down.
What a series. That ball could have changed the outcome. No one was middle. Mox tried to carry in that last game, but it wasn't enough. Journeyman, I think, against all my predictions and everyone on the desk, get a 3-1, and it's a massive result for them. And it's going to see them go to the upper bracket. It's going to see Onka drop to that lower bracket and play Norns in the first game of the playoffs. And wow, What a series that was. 3-1. Onka, they just didn't look themselves after game number 1. Axlos just played very well out of his mind, and I said it was Axlos versus Sinksy, but it was more Axlos and Co versus Sinksy, and well, Mox on game number 4. He showed up, but it wasn't enough to pull his team back, as we will see now. The series MVP. If I had to put my guess, it would be on Axlos, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Sen himself, and we'll see now as it unravels itself. It's not even any of the ones I predicted. It's Kendo.
Kendo did score those pretty much every single goal, if not every goal in the final game, and I think that's what really did it, because he put up some amazing defense for the whole entire series, and I personally think he deserves it.
Very all-rounded performance from him, I would have to agree. But I'd have said the other two had more standout performances. But according to our MVP, apparently not. And well, I think that is another upset in everyone's predictions tonight. As Journeyman move up to the upper bracket, and they will be facing what I believe... I can't remember the first place team. Someone will fill me in. Or I'll just look it up now. But they will be playing the side of Serene Meiji on Saturday, and Onka have to go to the lower bracket and play Norns in their first game, but a massive shock in all of the predictions. And well, round that series off for us.
It was an amazing series, really entertaining. I was thinking that Onka might be able to pull it back in the last few games, thinking that they were dominant in the first game and going to be dominant for the rest of the series, but Journeyman just showed us that that wasn't going to happen, and that they were going to be the ones to take the series away from them.
Yeah, there's a stonking game 1 from Onka. I thought after that it would be an Onka walkthrough. Onka looked so much better, but I think reality caught up to Journeyman and they realised they were in the play-ins. Axlos, I think, certainly woke up in his old age and decided it was time for him to start doing something. And well, Kendo, representing Scotland well, we had the little antenna on the entire game, but there you go. Last series of the night proves another shock in the RSC. That's what happens in these playoff environments. It's an underdog buff, clearly, but for us tonight on the RSC stream, that is all. Thank you for tuning in for all 3 series, or even 1 or 2 that you may have seen, but for us, that is all tonight, and we're hoping to see you tomorrow for the second day of Rival Players. But for now, have a good night. Goodbye.
Goodbye.